Okay, I always like using Google Hangouts. They change things constantly. Now it's saying live, so I bet it just kicked in. I don't hear any more of the chimes
It
anymore.
still says off air.
Are
I'm
you
not sure.
kidding?
It
No,
says
it's
off air on my side. I don't know.
oh yeah, it'll say off air on you because I'm the knucklehead
Oh,
controlling.
there you go. Now it says live.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Rogue Show. We've got some of our guests and panelists here, like we always have. We have one going to be joining us, and maybe even another. Olivia should be joining us here in a little bit. We've got ODC, that's me, and his box that I'm dying to see. It is.
What?
What's your box that you have in your hand right now? Show me. It's a box. Your other hand.
It's Terry Funk, King of Hardcore.
Terry Funk.
Capital F-U-N lowercase c lowercase N-K-R.
Okay.
And
Okay,
we've got that's enough. Shut up, Rob. And we've got Stu Murray 47. How you
Yeah,
doing?
hello. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm fine.
All right. We haven't had a chance to do this yet. It's been kind of crazy. If you've seen in the comments, it says BvS, DC Comics Rebirth, Civil War, and imagine some other stuff. So a big thing that we'll be talking about is Batman versus Superman, the greatest movie in the world.
Said Rotten Tomatoes.
Said Rotten Tomatoes. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm sure everybody's seen a million and one Facebook posts, but I'm sure all of us have been getting questions and comments on our respective pages and just people that we talk to in general. So I've recorded at least 4 podcasts now talking about it. So hopefully I've got all of my. Hey, there's Olivia. She joined. So
Sorry,
she's.
it's really loud.
Oh, so there's Olivia. She just joined in. So we've all been talking about it in our Rogue Show chat, and I know everybody's been kind of asking what we all think about it. We're kind of hoping Chapman Films will pop in at some point. He's kind of MIA at the moment. We kind of sprung this on everybody last minute, so thanks for tuning in. We'll kind of go down through everybody. I kind of want to know how many times you guys have seen the movie, what you thought initially of the film, and has it increased what you thought of it? Has it decreased? And we'll kind of go into it. So we'll just kind of start there. Stu, how many times have you seen it? First impressions, and kind of go from there.
Sadly, I've only seen it twice. I know, boo. I've been trying to see it a third time with my wife for a couple of weeks now, but it's just getting schedules and stuff. But I absolutely loved it. I know that a lot of people thought, well, you were obviously going to love it, but no, I mean, I went in really open-minded. I knew a couple of spoilers, which was annoying. Obviously, I take it, are we discussing spoilers from the start, or are we...
Yeah, let's just say this: we're into week 3 of the movie. I'm assuming everybody has seen it. We're gonna do spoilers right from the get-go on through. So you've been warned in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoil.
Oh my god, I can't believe Batman died. No, so... no, I mean, I went in with a really open mind. I knew a couple of spoilers going in, which I was really angry about. Someone on my Facebook group posted essentially a picture of Superman laying on the ground dead, which that was the picture that I saw.
Way to go, Internet.
Yeah, I
That's
was
the worst
so annoyed.
spoiler.
Yeah, I know, and when I saw the image, I was gutted. I mean, I did that thing where I clicked away quickly, and then I thought, maybe he was just unconscious. Maybe he's not dead.
Yeah.
And then I thought, no,
Maybe it
he's
was a
dead.
dream.
So I was kind of waiting all the way through the movie for that to happen, which really kind of soured it. But I did love the movie. I thought that it had issues. It was a little, some of the pacing things. This was just from the first showing. It was kind of back and forth and here and there. That was my first impression. But when I came out the movie, I was really happy overall. I loved what they did with Superman, of course. That was one of the main things I cared about. Even though we'll deal with negative opinions on Superman. But I thought it was handled really well, and I loved the movie. So, yeah.
ODC, what were your thoughts?
I saw it once, and I liked it a lot. It's definitely my favorite Batman, my favorite version of Batman. Even though he kills, I know a lot of people are, oh, but Anthony, he kills. I don't care. At this point, I don't care. It's a realistic, real life take on what Batman would have to do in real life situations to get the job done. You're gonna have to kill some of these crazy.
You gotta crack some
mofos.
skulls.
Yeah. And he actually, there's a lot of scenes where if you check out the Zack Snyder one-on-one interview when they were discussing why Batman kills I'm looking at the wrong camera because I'm so used to looking at this camera. I'm like looking up here. If you look at the one-on-one interviews, he says that there's certain scenes where it seems like he does kill people, but they're actually not dead.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably paralyzed from,
from
the
that
neck
shot
down,
where the
but...
Batwing blows up the car. Those guys are perfectly fine. They're okay.
Yeah. They're at a campfire. That's about it.
Well, but pretty much even the Nolan Batman killed. There's actually a YouTube video that shows 47 times that the Nolan Batman killed. So
really? 47?
47 deaths.
Can you think of any? I
Batmans.
can't think of any people he killed. Just
You know what? When I saw the video, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Some of them were like people in buildings. Some of them were people that fell off off a building. Like he basically killed Two-Face.
I suppose he did. He pushed him off the edge.
And then you have the Tumbler.
He jumped off the edge with him. So
yeah, the Tumbler driving through streets, landing on top of cars. I mean,
there's tons of So I mean, every version of Batman that we've had pretty much kills, except for
Adam
West.
Yeah, remember when Adam West went on that killing spree?
Holy death scene, Batman!
Two-seated them to death. Like, oh no, not this again! blow my fucking brains out.
Olivia, your initial impressions, and you just recently saw it yesterday, and I saw it Friday. So
right. So yesterday was my third time seeing it, and each time seeing it, I saw it with like some different people. I saw it with Todd every time, but like we had different friends with us or whatever each time, so that was interesting too. I feel like each time I saw it, I liked it a little better, and I feel like after seeing it the first time, I kind of knew that I would, because it is so it has so much depth that like you have to watch it multiple times to kind of really think like, oh that just happened, or like, you know, what things like really mean, and you just catch little things here and there every time you watch it. So like, and I'm looking really forward to like even like getting the Blu-ray and like watching it again and like watching the extra 30 minutes, and like hopefully there's a commentary. Like I'm really like, that would be awesome. I'm actually not like, I don't typically listen to commentaries regularly, but this is a movie where I definitely could see it being really, really interesting. But yeah, I did really like the movie. Like I remember coming out and telling you guys like I really, really, really liked it. I don't know if it was one of those like, fuck yeah, I really loved it.
Yeah, you know, I remember when you said that. I was like, oh my god, it was amazing, and you were like, and I was like, oh no, I didn't say you didn't like it.
No, I did really like it, and I still really do, and it's growing on me, and like I find myself reading people's negative criticisms and going like, no, that's stupid. So it like obviously I want to like fight for it. So I do really like it.
Yeah, that's when you know you're passionate, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel hurt that they're like, how dare you say that?
How dare you?
And the majority of the bitching and moaning comes from the general public. It's people that don't even understand the characters. They know of the characters, but they don't understand them.
Right.
So and I actually got into a couple discussions / arguments with people on my own Facebook, some of my Facebook friends, who were like, that movie's fucking garbage. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
and I'm
the
like,
biggest...
well, you don't get it. Like, there were specific scenes where I had to explain it to him, and he goes, oh, well, I guess it makes kind of sense now.
Yeah, I've been the same. The biggest shock I've got, sorry, Rob, was Kevin Smith. I was really gutted that Kevin Smith didn't like it, because I thought if anyone would understand the material, he'd be, like, weeping. You know, he'd be crying his eyes out watching it.
Well, I agree. I totally thought he would, too.
Yeah, and the whole, you know, using the Flash as his barometer when, you know, Barry goes back to see his mother getting killed, and then Flash from another time zone is looking at him like, no, don't save him. And Kevin's like, this is the greatest thing, you know. And then I'm like, oh, this Martha line is going to hit Kevin right in the chest. And he was like,
he didn't get it.
I'm like, come on. And that, I mean, we're going to probably jump all over with this, and that's perfectly fine. But since I brought up Martha, to me, that was the biggest sell. One of my friends is like, so if I put my boot on your throat and you're going to say, go get Sharon, you're going to say your mom. I'm like, let's go clear back to when Superman first landed. The first thing he says to him, He doesn't call him Batman. He calls him Bruce. So I'm thinking if you put the reporter hat on, I would think Clark would have been smart enough to use Martha's name, his mother's name, Bruce's name, on purpose to elicit that response, hoping that he can get somewhere with Bruce. So, and that's one of those things. Suspension of disbelief. I'm willing to go. Okay, I buy the whole Martha thing. So,
well, the other point of the Martha thing is that kind of the comment that your friend gave you doesn't really have an impact on you like it would have an impact on Bruce Wayne, since the whole purpose of who he is because his parents died. So if you bring up his mother, it's going to have an impact, and he carries that with him. So
did you see that thing online? It perfectly summed it up. I mean, first of all, there was that video that guy did who was really upset, which I thought was great. But I also read something online that said that Bruce's biggest failing in life is that he was never able to save his parents and his mother. And when he hears that, first of all, that this guy has a mother, okay, Martha maybe gave him pause, but when she said, when Lois came in and said it's his mother, it gives him pause that this guy has a mother and he has the chance to save this mother. He never got a chance to save his own, and the name just kind of makes it resonate a bit more. So I read into that. I really loved that scene as well. I hate when people, these memes that are like, Tony Stark says my mom's name is Sharon, he says my mom's name is Sharon, it cuts to them hugging kind of thing, so it does annoy me, but I totally understand why it happened and that it worked for me.
Well, no, go ahead, Olivia.
What I also really, it's cool because it's not like they thought this story up in their head and said, okay, let's name both characters Mom's Martha. That's something that's existed in DC lore forever. They didn't just make this up. They found it and they said, let's make something of this, and it worked, I thought. When obviously you guys thought.
No, and you could tell that beginning scene, I mean, the only reason that, of course, what's his name, Thomas, when Thomas is laying there and he goes Martha. It was just for people that don't know, that's going to be in your head. Then of course he goes to the graveyard, and the next dream, the gravestone says Martha, and then the big bat comes out, which scared everyone in the theater except for me. I think I was the only one. I wasn't expecting it either. I don't know, it was weird, but that was a good scene.
Well, that and Bruce's whole motivation of why he's resigned to the fact that, whether everybody else that he killed is collateral damage, he is going to go kill an alien. This is a creature from another world. Has not looked at Superman as a human being. So when he's at that point where he's cut Superman on the face and he's going to jab the spear into him, he's not killing a human being until Lois comes in and says that's his mother. And you could kind of see Bruce backpedal out of that of oh my gosh, I was just willing to kill somebody that is human, that it humanized Superman. So in Batman's mind, it's I can't kill.
Yeah, and the way that's capped off right after is when they're at the graveside and he goes, I failed him in life, but I won't fail him in death, giving him the impression that he's going to be the Batman we all understand. And the best way you can see that is that he's in Lex's cell. He has every right, given what he's done before, to brand him right on the forehead. But he doesn't. He misses him. He deliberately doesn't brand him, which shows that he has learned a lesson. He's no longer branding people. He's hopefully going to be more like the Batman we all know and love. A bit late in his career, but still, it's better late than never.
And it almost seems like this is a Batman that kind of lost his way.
Yeah, definitely.
The impact of what I'm assuming is Jason Todd's death is really hit him. I mean, I'm to the point where it's
86.
86 Batman, where it was he had a really rough time. He's no more Robins, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It took him a long time to embrace Tim. So
the best evidence of that is Alfred all the way through the movie. Those lines where he's then turns good men cruel. It shows that he has seen Bruce kind of going down and down. And they've said in interviews he did lose his way and that he's kind of lost emotionally. And so I do like.
You can tell he's drinking a lot in this movie.
Yeah, bedding blonde women, and getting boozed up before he's away to take on Gotham.
For Christ's sake, the Nolan Batman was just giving the illusion that he was hooking up with people.
What would have been amazing if that first part where the cops are in there and he goes flying by them, if it cut to him on the top floor reaching into his bat belt and pulling out a hip flask. But no,
and then he throws it at a thug and hits him in the back of the head.
Yeah, no, it's a hip flask that's got a brand on the side so he can brand you. But no, I mean, as I said, going back to like Superman, as I tend to do quite a lot, I was really happy with the way he was portrayed through the movie. Okay, I've heard all the complaints that he frowns all the way through, but if you look at the subject matter, he's not really got much to smile about. It shows him saving people. He's saving hundreds and hundreds of people in this montage, and then he's got to look at all these signs that say "Alien, go home," and I get why he's totally conflicted. That scene with his mum really resonated with me as well. You know, we saw it in the trailer, and yet again, people were complaining that Martha should never say that, where she's like, "Don't, you know, save them or don't save them." But I totally got that. I mean, if you had a son, for example, and he was a police officer and he was saving people, and every day had to put up with all this abuse, you would be like, "Look, just give up the job."
Yeah, of course.
Because you don't want your son. Yeah.
Yeah, because your son is more important than what he's doing.
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sure, what he's doing is fantastic. It's great. And
You want him to be happy.
Powerful being, but you want him to be happy at the end of the day. It's still your son. You raised him.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, a lot of it is I said this on one other podcast, the expectation. You are bringing 75 years of DC history and going, I want the movie to be exactly like this. And Perry White says in the movie, it's not 1938 anymore. So these are these superheroes existing in our world right now. And I don't care who you are. A being comes down out of the sky right now and starts doing stuff. I mean, our comments on our YouTube page are words enough of somebody going, this sucks, you're stupid, this is dumb. I mean, people are doing that just in comments on a YouTube video. What are they going to do to somebody coming down out of the sky to help you? Or you're in a pool and you drown and a paramedic pulls you out, saves your life, but now you have some type of paralysis, so you sue the paramedic for saving your life, where the paramedic could have been like, dude, I just could have let you drown, but I chose to save you. So using our world as a barometer, I totally get where Superman's like, I need to do the right thing, but I can understand why he's upset and beaten down. Like, I understand that. It didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, and that's. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just going to say that scene later on where he's on the balcony in Washington D.C. and he said, "Superman, there is no Superman." You know, like he doesn't believe in himself anymore. And people, people that aren't really fans just look at that as like, "Oh, wow, stop crying," you know. But that's his whole arc, and people said he had no arc as well, which is totally not true. He started the movie obviously, and he was quite happy helping people, and he goes through this big arc where he doesn't believe in himself and he doesn't believe he can help, to the point where he basically sacrifices his own life to save everyone. Yet again, you know.
Again.
But yeah,
when are people going to catch on?
Yeah,
This guy is willing to lay it all on the line for the whole.
There was a couple of points in the movie. I know we're not talking positives and negatives just now, but there was a couple of points in the movie where I went, huh? Like, I admit it, every single person here, when you were watching Bruce fly up with those bats, you were like, what?
Yeah.
Just for a second. And I thought, this doesn't make it easy. His clothes aren't even blowing in the wind. He was just going up, and then, of course, it was a dream, which was fine.
I had to tell people that were sitting next to me. They were like, it was two black guys. They were like, man, what the fuck's going on? And I'm like, it's a dream. And they're like, oh, okay, sweet. and then he woke up and they were like, oh, all right.
He even says it, in the dream. Or I dreamed that they carried me up.
Yeah.
Did you guys pick up that as they were showing him, his clothes and his feet were making the image of the
bat? Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
You know what I would have liked for Superman is if they flipped it, like, because a lot of this has a Dark Knight Returns tone to it. So if into Dark Knight Returns, when they do those little segments with the news, and they're talking about like, if they would have just switched to like a newscaster, and they could have even done like that woman's like blonde, unique style hair that she had, that would have been cool. And instead of talking about Batman having this 50-50 split between the what's going on, just flip it and have it be Superman. This way you would have got a better grasp of pretty much everyone is 50-50. People love him or people hate him. Right. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been cool, just to show where they are in the world, I was a little bit worried the first time we saw Superman, because I did think he killed that guy, and I'm still on the fence, but I've seen it before. I've seen it again, I should say, and it does kind of look like he's punching through the wall with his left arm and just holding the guy.
Yeah.
but it also does look like, you know, he just pushed him right through 3 solid brick walls. So I'm undecided on that. The only thing that makes sense that he is dead is that, of course, you know, when it hits the news, everyone is dead, and it's like, I didn't kill those men. But did you kill one of them or none? You know, so that would have been. I just think one more shot would have been good. You know, where you see that typical shot where the guy's laying on the ground and he kind of blinks his eyes, knocked out. Just one little shot to show that he wasn't dead. But you know, he kind of justifies it when he's in the bathtub and he says, what is it, something along the lines of like he was threatening the woman I love, I would do it again, or something like that. You know, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But that was a cool scene though.
Going back to that scene, did anybody realize that we had another Superman character in the movie?
Not until I read it on Facebook. I was shocked when I read that was Jimmy.
So what do you guys,
yeah.
so what do you guys think about Jimmy Olsen being in the movie and them killing him off? I don't know if I entirely agree with Zach's opinion. Like, well, we really didn't have a story beat. He didn't really fit in. I took it as, you know, again, using real world, we have reporters going over, you know, overseas and getting killed for reporting. So I was like, if that's a commentary on our world right now, that what terrorists are doing to reporters, I can kind of get it. But at the same time, there should have been Joe Schmo, like 3 of them, Lois, Jimmy, and Joe Schmo, and let Jimmy live. But anyway.
I thought of it as, what was the point? You know, what was the point of introducing the character when everyone knows who Jimmy Olsen is, to have him as an undercover CIA that we don't know about? Like, I don't see what was the point of doing that. It was a pointless character.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Jenny Olsen situation all over again from Man of Steel. It was a character that if nobody told you that was Jimmy Olsen, you would never have known. Now, we know that in the extended cut, there's going to be a lot more Jimmy Olsen at the beginning. There's going to at least be shots of them in the car talking, I've heard, and that whole scene is going to be quite a bit longer. So that kind of makes sense there. But yeah, I mean, if no one told me that was Jimmy, I would have just assumed it was Jenny Olsen back at the planet, you know, the same as the last movie.
Yeah, I had a feeling, like, when the first watching, this guy's got a camera, like, oh, you know, it'd be kind of cool if this was Jimmy, and then they killed him, and I was like, oh, okay, it can't be Jimmy. And then the second time we saw it, we watched, and, you know, kind of thought the same thing, and then the credits were rolling, and Todd saw Jimmy Olsen, and I was like, oh, no way. And then we Googled it, and that's when we found out. I don't like it.
And that guy, you know, the guy from Winter Soldier. You know the guy. What was his? Is it KG Beast he was playing?
Yeah, KG Beast. Yeah.
He's such a distinctive looking guy. Did you hear that guy apparently was in a car crash when he was younger, and that's why his eyes are kind of slightly off? That's just a useless fact of the day.
I had no idea.
Well, thank you for that too.
Yeah, apparently he was quite a good-looking guy. I'm sure he's still quite good-looking, but he had a really bad car crash, and now he's kind of... So there's a lesson to drive safe.
Yeah.
But no, I love one of the cool things about the beginning was, you know, when Lois was in danger and you saw up in the sky, you saw like sonic boom after sonic boom after sonic boom. Like he was going so fast, he was just breaking the speed of sound like 3 times. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Ben as Batman? Where do you rank him in your Batman list? For me, I think it's the best on-screen interpretation of Batman that we've had. I've been a champion of, I do not want to see that black rubber suit anymore. The suit looks great. I love the characteristic. You know, he said, many people have said it before, but you know, the Batman's the easy role to play. You've got the suit to hide behind, but it's the Bruce Wayne that you really kind of have to nail. And I think many actors have either done one or both really well. Some have done, you know, both pretty good, but usually you can look at a movie and go, you know, Val Kilmer did a better, you know, Batman than he did Bruce Wayne, or, you know, George Clooney did a better Bruce Wayne than he did Batman, or whoever. I think Christian Bale is kind of, depending on the movie, some versions I like him as better as Bruce Wayne, some movies I like him better as Batman, but at least for Ben's first time, I thought he got both Batman and Bruce Wayne. I was really invested in his Bruce Wayne character. Anthony, what did you think of Ben Affleck?
Number one with a pun intended, a bullet.
Number one with a grenade.
Yes, with a grenade, a bullet, with a machine gun, whatever you want to say. No, he's my favorite Batman. Beating out the Keaton Batman, which was my favorite before this movie. I would go Ben, Keaton, probably maybe Christian Bale, then Kilmer, and then
Adam West.
Then who cares after that?
Olivia.
Definitely my favorite. I can't believe I'm really shocked that there are still people after this saying that they miss Christian Bale or that like Christian Bale is the best. I just can't. I never really liked Christian Bale to begin with. I liked his like Playboy Bruce Wayne. That was good. Other than that, hated the suits. Just wasn't really a fan of the, like this Batman. The fight scenes were amazing. The suit looked amazing. Yeah. His Bruce Wayne was good. Like it was just so much better. So much better. So definitely my number one.
Ben's Batman would kill Nolan's Batman. He would snap his neck.
Yeah, the only one more lethal than Ben's Batman is Keaton's Batman, who was just practically handing bombs to guys and blowing them up and destroying them with miniguns.
And then laughing after.
Big smile. You can just imagine him setting that guy on fire with a little chuckle in his face in the Batmobile. But no, I mean, I have to say that Affleck all the way was really, really good. The suit looked amazing. Rob and I were talking just before we went live about. Do you remember back when we got the first image and none of us knew whether his suit was going to be all black or all grey, or you couldn't tell. The bat symbol looked to be the same colour, so it just seems like so long ago. We definitely got the best suit. I also totally disagree. Everyone used to say his suit looked like it was made out of gaffer tape. It was all taped up. I never saw that at all. I never.
No.
But so his suit was amazing. The way he moved was so fluid. I mean, that one, obviously, the Martha rescue scene is probably the hands down best fighting scene.
So good.
There are some other shots from other movies I like. Batman Forever is not the best movie, but there was some really good dynamic shots. You know when Batman lands in the fountain and does a backflip down, and there's some cool shots in other movies. But like Christian Bale, always, it was always elbow fighting in his movies, and
the camera going like this while he's fighting.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You know what the funniest thing is? I went back and watched The Dark Knight. Dark Knight's a great movie, but one bit makes me crack up all the time. It's Joker's in the cell, and Batman asks him the question, and then he just punches his hand. He punches his hand, and I thought, what is that? Whoever punches a hand?
Why would you punch a hand?
It's like he was going to go,
Like, how much is that going to really hurt my hand?
Yeah, that was pretty poor. And then, so the Batmobile was amazing. The gadgets, the Batcave looked so cool. It looked like someone could actually make it, because it was it was actually the foundations of the house. If you look at the tech manual, you can see that all the walls of the house just go straight down and become parts of the Batcave, and so it was really well designed. And I don't know if you guys went through that 360 tour of the Batcave.
Yeah.
I went all the way through it, so I knew kind of where everything was. And I heard a complaint. Somebody, one of the other podcasts that I watched, did a major complaint that Affleck's armored suit comes out of nowhere. It's in every single shot of the Batcave from the very first moment you see it hanging behind Alfred. So he has been designing it for a long time.
I feel like a lot of the complaints are just based around people not paying attention.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
People are just not paying attention. It's like they were so caught up in just hate for the movie that they're not paying attention to the whole movie itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like people who say that Ben was shooting people all the time. He doesn't shoot anyone in the movie. I mean, okay, he shoots his spear gun. Yeah, in a dream.
Yeah.
He shoots one guy in the shoulder with his spear gun. But he never, I think people are mistaken. When he comes up through the floor and all the guys are kind of disconcerted. They're all.
Wait a minute, Batman. I don't know what you're doing.
Hold on.
But no, they were all pretty confused. And of course, he goes up now. You can see that he clearly attaches one of those red things to every one of the guns, and then he almost has like a gun that he points that makes them all blow up, basically.
Very similar to Arkham Knight.
Yeah, exactly.
I just saw it in the tech manual.
What was that? The thing he uses to blow up all the guns?
Yeah,
he's got a like a gun, like it stops guns from working, basically.
Yeah,
it's that thing that Rob's showing us.
Yeah, it's what he's stuck on. Yeah, the red thing is what he stuck to the guns, and then
sticky bombs.
Yeah, sticky bombs. So
those are in the game, right?
Yeah.
You know what was a good touch in that fight as well? I don't know if you picked up on it the couple of times you saw it, but he goes up into the ceiling, and of course he he's blowing up all their guns. There's actually one guy who's still shooting down into the hole because he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Have you noticed that? Batman's on the roof and the guy's shooting down where Batman was like 2 minutes ago. It's such a cool scene because not everyone in a fight knows exactly what's going on and knows where he is. I thought that was a good touch.
The really cool thing about this movie that made me the most happy was how similar it was to the Arkham games. The free flow fighting, him flying all around the room. It was very much like you're playing a video game, watching Ben just go around the room and just dismantle all of these thugs. And just the way even the gadgets are very similar, like we were just stating, very similar to the game. So I really, that was, I think, my favorite part of the movie was how similar it was to those games, because how successful were those games? They were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even during the fight with Superman, I keep forgetting that, when the fight first starts and Superman's like, Bruce, we need to, and he takes a step and Batman's taking a step back, and those audio, like the sound cannons hit him first, and the chain cannons. It was such a cool idea. It was all things that Bruce could make, that actually made sense. People always said that he wasn't really a detective in the movie. Well, he did. He went to Lex's house and he used the computer drive. And it's not like Christian Bale, where he pulled half a bullet out of a wall, then fired a Gatling gun bullet and compared a fingerprint from another bullet, and it just made no sense, that bit. Anyway,
I was still crossing my fingers for the light post scene, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he was plugged into the electricity of the city. Yeah. It was good though. The street lamp was still there though. If you look in the back left, there is still the street lamp, which is a good sort of visual nod. That's cool. The Kotobukiya statue, which is like Superman fighting Batman. Superman's foot is on the lamp post as well, which is a cool touch.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What did you think about this other character?
Hi, Sasha.
Yes, hi, Sasha. If you've watched my reviews long enough, as soon as I turn that camera on, she's got to chime in. The other little character that made her debut, what did you guys think of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman?
Awesome.
Yeah.
She was
really well done.
I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong.
I
was in my video too. I include that in my video that I was wrong. She did a good job. I was the most skeptical out of all of you, and I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. She did good.
I think I can remember the last video that you and I did together. That was like the very last thing as we were signing off. You're like, I still don't know about her. She could screw this movie up. And I was like, really? So, yeah.
See, I'd never seen her in like Fast and the Furious. I'd never seen her in anything, so I didn't have anything to go on.
I just heard she wasn't good.
Yeah, I was going from
They
John
also
Campia.
they put her in the wrong. They put her as an actress in wrong situations in those movies. So it wasn't the best situations for her. I was just going from what John Campia said on Collider, that he hated her and she wasn't a good actress. So I was just kind of, but I tried not to judge her. And okay, she was only in it for like about 8 minutes or something, or well, in total. But she was really good. She made an impact. Everyone remembers her. Most of the reviews are always glaring. This annoys me, but all the reviews are always Ben Affleck was great, Gal Gadot was great. No one ever mentions Henry Cavill in any review. You ever notice that? No one ever says Henry was amazing, which annoys me. I know he didn't have that much to work with, and he was quite somber during it, but I still think he did a great job in the role.
Yeah. At no point did I feel like any of the cast was phoning it in. That's like, you can tell that Henry's not into it. He was given 110%, just like everybody else was. Now, granted, the lines he had to work with could have been better or less or whatever, but his performance across the board for everybody, I thought, did a great job.
Yeah.
I also think that they're going the route of Wonder Woman and Batman having a relationship, just like kind of like Justice League.
Yeah.
I was curious about that, if that's what they were going to do. I'd be down for that.
Because they're flirting.
Yeah.
For sure. I love when Bruce gets distracted by her when he's talking to Clark. Pretty girl. That's great.
Yeah. I like another Bruce line that I really liked, that I liked how there was a little bit of that animated series flair where it would be, business Bruce Wayne, but when he's down in the Lex's, room, and he's like, oh, I thought this was the bathroom. Hey, I like those shoes. I quickly turns that off and is like, Alfred, I cannot stay down here.
How cool was that bit in the party as well, when he's talking to Alfred and Clark just turns his head because he can hear it. That was such a great touch.
So good.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Uh,
And of course,
go ahead.
sorry.
No,
I was
you're
just going to
fine.
say, and then of course, when we're at the party, Lex, of course, was.
That's what I was just going to say. Since we're on you for this, being our Superman fan in the room, how did you think of Jesse Eisenberg and Lex Luthor?
Yeah, see, I liked him. I mean, it was totally a departure. You look at any Lex Luthor from the comics, from the movies, he is such a departure. But he's kind of a modern day psychopath, really, isn't he? The way he acted was he was so unhinged. That part in the party where he just couldn't decide what he wanted to say, and everyone at the party's looking awkward. And there's a great shot where Clark kind of is like, he does this weird face, like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, I thought he was unhinged. At first, his motivations, I wasn't really sure, because I of course, you don't know that he knows who Bruce and Clark are. I would have liked to have seen where he discovered who they were, because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor never knows who they are for the most part, so the fact that we never got to see how he knows was a bit annoying. But as it went on, and I'm a bit confused at something, and you guys might be able to clear it up. When I saw the movie the second time, I actually read it to be that he wanted Batman to take the kryptonite. He didn't want the kryptonite. I thought he wanted Batman to have it, because he basically stages this whole thing so that Batman's waiting for Superman in Gotham, and he's got the cards and go and kill him, and he expected Batman to kill Superman, because when Superman turns up at the ship later, he seems upset, and he says, if man won't kill a god, then the devil will. So did you guys read it that he wanted Batman to take the kryptonite? That he didn't really. That's why he left all the clues for the ship and things for Batman to find, or?
Well, he was pissed off when he found out that the kryptonite was gone.
Yeah.
Did you think? I
didn't think so. I thought he had a little bit of a smirk that was kind of like, all right, Batman is here. He took the kryptonite. All right, that's good.
I don't know if I see it as he planned for Batman to take the kryptonite. I think maybe that face when he's like, oh, Batman took it, I think that's kind of when it turns in his head and he goes, okay, I can make this work for me.
Exactly.
And that's when
Because
maybe.
they kill each other.
I can buy that.
Yeah, that's what I like about the film, is there's a lot of complexity that you don't just understand what A, B, and C is. You have to think about it. And of course, at that point, you could argue when the kryptonite's gone, that's when he resorts to going to the ship. That's when he resorts to going to the ship, and then the whole doomsday plan. A lot of criticisms I've heard is that he has no motivation. Why would he want to destroy the whole world? But I don't think he really does. I mean, at the end of the day, he went to the ship, he said, tell me everything. The ship's obviously told him about the new gods and Darkseid and stuff, and he's obviously meant to have maybe spoken, not to Darkseid, what's his name?
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, yeah. He's
so maybe
in the deleted scene, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. Of course, that deleted scene takes place right at the very end of the movie, because the SWAT team come in to arrest Lex at the very end. So, so I mean, I think it was maybe desperation that he turned to the ship. But
maybe he made a deal with the proverbial devil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, you give me this portion of land, and I'll control this, and I'll let you have the rest of the world.
Yeah, Australia.
Yeah, Australia.
Wouldn't it have been funny? Because what Darkseid might have said, or what someone might have said, was, well, if you kill the Kryptonian, you can have the planet, or something. Like, obviously, they wouldn't really mean it, but and then of course he would make Doomsday to kill Superman, and that's when they know he's dead. But it was quite. I think he was a good character. I thought he was quite menacing. What about you guys?
I liked him. I liked him.
Too.
A lot of people didn't like him. But I took it as, this is not Lex Luthor, this is Alexander Luthor. And there's been versions of Alexander Luthor where he has parent issues. Yeah. And he's had those issues. So,
Smallville.
There you go. You could go with that too. We could run with that. But I liked it. He almost seemed, I mean, like you guys said at that speech, he seemed bipolar. Like there's a lot of bipolar disorder with this Alexander Luthor. So and I liked it. I think it made sense for what direction they're going to go. A lot of people are trying to make comparisons with the Joker. I didn't really see that. The Joker and the Riddler.
Riddler.
I didn't really see that either. This was a guy that's and a lot of people are beating up Jesse Eisenberg, and I think he did the best he could. I don't think that it's warranted for people to be, bashing him, because he can be a good actor.
He did a good job.
I've seen him in movies. What was it? American Alpha, or what was it called? American
Ninja 2.
American Ultra. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty fun. Just shoot 'em up movie. but he did a good job with that movie too. But I genuinely like him. Like I like what he did with Zombieland. But and this is just a different version of a. I mean, we don't want to see the same Jesse Eisenberg, and people said that going into this movie.
Right.
And they when he gives you a different version, then you don't like that. So, like, what do you like? I don't know.
Well, it's interesting how psychopathic he was. I mean, he just killed Mercy. He knew Mercy was going to die. He let her go in there. I expected her to have a much bigger role, and of course, Mercy looked a bit confused. Like, where's Lex? He's meant to be sitting here.
Yeah. She almost has that look of like, he's not here. Oh crap!
She knows what's about to happen. Like, I really liked him. It's funny because I kind of forgot for a second that he is Alexander Luthor, and like that actually makes me feel even better about it. Which is like, because like when we came out yesterday, the third showing, Todd was like, well, you know, there were some really, really good Lex lines, and I would have really like imagine Clancy Brown saying that, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like if I do that, I'm going to be upset. So I'm not thinking about other interpretations of Lex. I'm looking at this one and I'm saying I really like this. Like I think this is a different take. It does feel more modern. I feel like Jesse really kind of. He worked with what he was given, and I think he did a good job with that. And it seemed like he really did care about the role, and he had fun with it, considering he wasn't a huge like comic fan going into it. I didn't see any Joker, Riddler in him really. I just saw this this really, really intelligent guy who is a little bit crazy, and as the movie goes on, you just see him unravel, and it was really interesting.
Yeah, until you get to the very end and he's like, ding, 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 ding. He's really lost it.
He's done.
What was that? I always imagine, when he talked about his father and how abusive he was, I really imagined like a Bryan Cranston. I know that people said Bryan Cranston would have been better. Yeah. And I think if they had went the Bryan Cranston route, it would have been a bit more safe, because, I mean, he would have been a bit more typical. But I imagine that kind of horrible, like Lex Luthor father figure who really just beat up his son and treated him like garbage. But I thought, sorry.
No, sorry, go ahead, Star.
There was one line that I did think was what I refer to as trailer bait, which is a line that's only in the movie because it's going to be in the trailer, and that's, you do not want to pick a fight with this person. And I was like, that is such a line that was meant for a trailer.
Yeah.
I still like it. It makes me laugh. I like that interaction.
Yeah. When I was watching all the trailers, I wasn't sure if that was a coincidence, but that, of course, is he does know who they are, Anyway, sorry, Rob, you're saying.
No, with Lex, he even says it in the film, like, oh, the Lex Luthor, whatever. He's like, no, that's my father. He's the important part of the Lex. Two things I think, I think would have really kind of. I liked his performance. I didn't have a problem with it. Even feeding the Jolly Rancher, he's like, it's cherry, and make it like, oh, well, it's cherry. I guess I'll eat it. But I kind of wish there was a beat where, like, well, what happened to his dad? Well, I have two thoughts. One, Alexander got tired of the beatings and killed his father. Or I think, I was kind of imagining, Batman and Superman are both on their backs at the end of the film, and Lex comes in and says, "This is for knocking down the building my father was in," or something like that. So I thought that might have added a little bit. That's why we don't see the traditional Lex that he also died in the Battle of Metropolis. So again, maybe there's a part in the 30-minute deleted scene that we'll get. I mean, who knows what's going to be in there? But,
maybe it'll turn out that Lex Senior choked on a glass of urine or something.
What was that about?
You mean Granny's peach tea?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious, wasn't it? You what was it she said? You could tell me a glass of piss is Granny's peach tea, and of course, did you get that part, Anthony, when you turned? The only thing I didn't get was
that part.
I thought that was great.
So basically, when she was when the senator came to Lex's house and he said, "Can I?" He goes, "What was it again? Do you want to know what the greatest lie in America is, Senator?"
No. He says she's gonna call you June because that's her first name or whatever.
Right,
He's gonna call you June. She's like, you can piss in a glass and call it Granny's peach tea, but I'm not gonna whatever she says.
He's trying to butter her up. Yeah.
The only thing I didn't thought was weird that she's obviously doing the speech and she can smell this pee and it's really throwing her off. What about the guy sitting right here? Could he not smell a glass of piss 2 centimeters?
Yeah, and to me, I liked that scene. That was. When kind of watching it was like, oh, was she poisoned? Like she can't talk. She's realizing there's a jar of piss here. Like, why is he doing this? She has that look of like, oh crap.
Oh no.
He's talking
No,
about
yeah.
kryptonite being the deterrent, being the silver bullet. Well, if you're not going to give me what I want, then I'm just going to take you out of the equation.
Yep.
That was one of my biggest shocks in the movie, was that when we saw all the trailers, of course it cut to, is it Helen? No, what's her name? Helen. What's her name?
Amy Adams.
No, the senator. Completely blank. Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter.
Yeah. So.
Is it just me, by the way, or does she always speak out of the side of her mouth? Like,
she does.
Yeah, she's always.
Granny's PhD. No, the biggest shock I had was that in all the trailers, you got the impression that all these hearings were to do with what happened in Man of Steel, not to do with 30 guys getting killed in Africa. It was a big shock to me that this whole hearing was about some incident that was nothing to do with Man of Steel. But what I was going to say was that was one of the most powerful scenes in the movie, when that bomb goes off and it just cuts to Superman and he's in this devastation and he just closes his eyes and shakes his head like, he let them down, really, I think, but he was also really upset that he didn't.
It would have been really funny if he was like, "Sorry, I farted."
Yeah.
I loved how they tied that scene up when he's on Lois's balcony and he says, I didn't see it. And she's like, nobody could have seen it coming. And he's like, I didn't see it because I wasn't looking. Which is going to the fact that he's here to save as many people as he can and to be watching out for everybody. He's so preoccupied about the negative response that he's getting that he just plain wasn't looking for it. And you could, like Stu said, that devastation is on his face of like, I should have been looking. I should have known.
And this is still an inexperienced Superman. Like, he's still getting his shit together.
Yeah. Did you guys? I was actually relieved. I was a bit shocked that they did it, but I was relieved because I thought as soon as it blew up, I thought, oh, they're all going to think that he's killed them all. And then, like 1 second later, they're like, it was clearly this guy was the bomber. So I was kind of glad that they cleared that up quickly, but I was shocked that they didn't drag it out a bit more. Maybe in the R-rated cut.
I thought it was going to be a setup going into that scene. I was like, Lex is trying to set up Superman. And I thought they were going to blame him for their deaths.
For sure.
What did you guys think of the Superman montage? Where he was saving all the people. Did you like it, or did you not like it? Or...
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I thought it was really good. I mean, I heard a complaint that said that you didn't actually see him. Like, for example, the people are in the floods, and he wasn't actually helping them. He was hovering above them. That was just a stylistic choice.
Well,
I understand. He wasn't just looking at them like,
hi.
That's like more Christ imagery. Like, he's up in the sky, and they're looking at him as their God.
Yeah,
like,
with the hand
it's
outstretched.
Tons of Christ imagery.
Which there's always been with Superman, hasn't there? Especially Superman Returns, and that's always been a part of it.
Yeah.
But at first when I saw that shot where he was saving the ship, I didn't quite understand until my second show, and of course I got the behind the scenes art book.
There's a crew on it.
Yeah, the crew are all along the deck, along the top. So basically the ship is capsized. Let's be honest, in the comics, in Alex Ross, Superman lifts an entire tanker. Now, if you were to lift an entire tanker from one point, it would split like the Titanic. So it's kind of realistic. He has to pull it out the ocean, which it was such a great image. And
that was cool.
Saving the rocket as well was cool, and I just liked a montage of him actually saving people. It was really, really good.
My only complaint with that scene, I wish it wasn't that scene alone. I wished that was sprinkled out a little bit more, rather than. I mean, I think it worked well, and with the story, you have all the news reporters talking about, we shouldn't trust him, and while they're saying we shouldn't trust Superman, he's doing all of these things. I kind of wish that was sprinkled out through the narrative a little bit more, that as the audience, you're like, he's saving, cats out of a tree, he's doing all these things. People saying he's not smiling when he's doing it. When he lands in was it Day of the Dead?
Yeah.
He kind of smiles there for a second as he says,
"That was a cool, I like that."
And he has that humbling moment where people are reaching for him. I'm like, I get it, I buy it.
Yeah, I like that shot because he was walking with this girl and he's walking into the crowd, and the mum obviously looks and he does smile like, "I've got your daughter here." I thought that was a really good point. My only complaint about that whole point wasn't that it was all one scene, was that besides the ship, we saw everything in the trailer of that scene. You could tell that in the marketing they were so. It was a backlash about Superman never saved anyone in Man of Steel. I know he did, but that's what people say.
He saved the entire Earth.
Yeah, exactly. But not only that,
he just did it in one giant scene that was 2 hours long.
If you look through the movie, he saves, the school bus at the beginning, and obviously the guy falling out of the helicopter. the oil rig. He saves everyone on the oil rig. You know, the helicopter. So I mean, he does save a lot of people, but you could tell that was backlash. They were like, Superman never saves anyone, so they showed every single shot of Superman saving someone in the trailers just so that you would see them all. I just wish that it was a bit more. Yeah.
In the next movie, do you think he'll have the black suit with the long hair? Please.
No, I don't think so. No, because
Please.
I don't know.
Because I want to know how he cuts his hair.
He doesn't cut it. He just gels it.
It gels it. Yeah.
How does he cut his hair? How does he shave his face? How does he do these things? We don't.
I think the fact that they did the silver Superman logo on the casket was like, that's it. That's all you're getting. You're gonna get the silver on the black.
Yeah.
No suit.
Come on, I want my 4 fake Supermans. Come on, let's go.
The whole reign of Superman. Yeah.
What did you guys think of the nightmare sequence? Wasn't that amazing? It was so well done.
It was so cool.
That was probably one of my favorite sequences in there. I mean,
good, because you bought a lot of Nightmare Batmans.
I bought a lot of Nightmare Batman stuff. Yeah, I'm obsessed with that. And I've said before, I don't like alternate universe stuff. I don't like Elseworld stories. This is straight up Elseworld, and I'm like, dang it! I'm just sitting there, and my wife's like, "You got a problem with this character?" I'm like, "I know."
You know what was good was
they converted him, guys.
Darn it!
It was great because they mixed so many stories in there. You had obviously you had Nightmare Batman. I know that he's based on some looks that Batman's had in the comics, but then you had Injustice Superman. You also had what was that Superman animated episode? You know, the one where he works for Darkseid. What was that one called again? It was the finale of like season 2, I think it was. But and then of course you had Flashpoint Paradox just at the very end of that as well. So it was really well done. I thought, of course, and we've talked about this already, but in the behind the scenes book, it shows that single Daredevil style fight where he takes out like 12 guys. CGI. None of the guys were real; they were all CGI. So cool. So well done. You can't tell.
Well, back that up. What?
So you know the scene where he's do you not read
the chat? Girl, back that ass up. What?
So you know the scene where he jumps out the back of the truck and he basically, it doesn't cut for like 90 seconds, but he's just beating everyone up.
Okay.
Every single person was CGI except for the ones lying on the floor because apparently they tried to film it, but people keep missing their cues and he keeps missing punches, so they thought, let's just make Batman punch here, kick there, and they just put the people where they need to be.
Okay, so cool. That I thought you were talking about the warehouse rescue. I'm like, 2 scenes? Okay, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
What is interesting, I've got a picture of it. In fact, I think I shared it with the group. You know, when it's the warehouse rescue scene at the end, and he didn't have a cape. It was, it was just a typical. When you saw in Suicide Squad, he has the orange dots on his shoulders. The cape was CGI the whole time there as well, which is so well done. The CGI cape for Superman and Batman was done great this movie. You couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
In Man of Steel, a couple of points I could tell the way it was flowing and stuff. It looked a bit CGI, but they've really impressed with that. Even that video we shared yesterday, where it was the green screen, how much of the stuff was green screen, you couldn't tell at all.
Yeah. Something I wanted to ask you guys. Her part was cut from the film, Jenna Malone. We know that she's going to be in the additional footage. So where do you think, some people have said in the nightmare scene, since we were talking about it, the figure that he reaches for and pulls up is trying to save. Some people say that's Jenna Malone's character as Barbara Gordon there. Do you think she's going to have a place other than the nightmare scene? Is she going to be in not continuity, but the main narrative of the story, or is she only going to be in the nightmare sequence? Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I thought she would be in the main story. I never thought, because I always took it that all the guys in the future were the sons of Batman. I thought that was the way they were going with that all the guys, that's why he was so like, no, when they were getting shot. I always assumed, when I was thinking about where they could weave her in, like Oracle style, would be when he was decrypting, the file, he needed the military encryption.
Okay.
Maybe send it to her to encrypt, and she would email it just on his screen.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then, of course, just after the nightmare sequence, of course, it says that the data is encrypted. It could have been that he's woken up for the nightmare, and there's Jenna Malone on the screen. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
For me.
Anthony, any thoughts on her?
I haven't seen it. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I'll say this about Alfred, though. I like that he was the comic relief between him and Batman. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he's my favorite Alfred. I
Me too.
love my like
Yeah.
going into this. I was thinking I loved Michael Caine so much as Alfred. To me, that was a really high bar to get, and uh, I think Jeremy Irons did a fantastic job. There was a little bit of that Earth One Alfred to him, a little bit of animated series, and just this whole things of like as he's cleaning up the table, and he's like, I'd hate to think that the heirs of the Wayne family are going to inherit an empty wine cellar, that that type of stuff. I thought was really pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
he's
definitely
really good.
tell that he's got some military experience too, and he's
Yeah.
basically, you know what I mean, like he's almost like Beware the Batman Alfred.
Yeah,
he's a pilot. He can fly the Batwing, which was really cool
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And he was thinking tactically, I'll let you off on this floor instead of that floor. Didn't you think a lot of his dialogue was similar to Ephraim Zimbalist, the guy that did the Batman animated series? I thought
Yeah.
it was because he was always quite put downy to Batman. I don't know if that's not a term. Put him down quite a lot.
Put Downey.
You're
It is
too
today.
Put downy. So I thought he was a great character. I thought he was
He was
really
awesome.
good in the movie.
Let's talk about the other Justice Leaguers. What did you? We'll go through them one by one in order of appearance. The Flash, his first introduction that we get. Granted, it's brief. It's like the first time seeing it, I thought, man, it's so blurry. I can't tell what I was really looking at. But after seeing it 3 times, I could clearly see the Flash mask. When I first saw it, I thought he was wearing like a domino mask. I'm like, oh, that's kind of crap. But
Yeah.
after seeing it 3 times, you can tell that the visor, the helmet goes up, and some
Yeah.
people was like, he looks like a Power Ranger. To me, the Flash costume's not ready yet, so
Well,
we can do the mask part of it in the helmet, so that didn't bother me. But I thought it was really confusing until you kind of read more stuff. Was a complaint I had. A lot of stuff is explained after you see the movie and go, oh, well, that makes sense.
I never
Another
took it.
dialogue here or there would have helped out a lot of viewers.
Yeah, I mean, subtitles in the Blu-ray will certainly help out. But I never thought that the Flash costume wasn't ready. I always got the impression that it was either like a battle costume he's made, because bear in mind where he's probably coming from is when Darkseid is all over
True.
the world.
exactly.
That's why
Probably.
everyone complains that he's got a moustache. I'm like, look, the
Yeah,
world has
he's
ended.
in like an apocalyptic future. He doesn't have
let
time
him-
to shave.
Let him
Yeah.
get some facial hair. The guys, another thing was, as you said, it was like a visor that came up. That could be
Yeah.
a special kind of suit that allows him
Yeah.
to go through time, because
Right.
it's not
That's
going to be
what I
like, the TV show. The only thing that worries me about the whole sequence, it doesn't worry me, but it's the fact that he basically says, of course, that you were right about him, you were always right, which does tend to sort of lead you to the impression that Superman is potentially going to be this bad guy. What I would have preferred is, and this was just personal, if he'd said, Martha's the key. Now, can you imagine if it changed to Martha's the key?
That would have
mean
made
at
more
the end,
sense. to me.
Yeah.
because at the end of this movie, Bruce had changed the future, so Superman wouldn't be bad.
Right.
But really, nothing happens to Lois in this movie, which means that in
Right.
another movie, Justice League Part 1, something will happen which will make Superman be bad.
I have 2 thoughts about this.
Yeah.
The one being, you were always right about him. He's coming and he's saying, I'm too soon. So I'm thinking
Yeah,
maybe
I was
he's
just gonna
supposed
say
to
that.
come after Bruce realizes that Superman's on his side. And then 2, Lois being the key still confuses me a little bit. But I'm thinking maybe, like, she's the one that comes and says Martha's his mother. So, like, maybe that's why he's saying, like listen to Lois, basically.
that's a
Like,
good
listen to
point.
what she's saying.
Yeah, but he does say you have to save Lois. You have to save her, meaning that she's in danger.
But-
It doesn't. It's not as clean cut as I would have liked it. I know that they said this
True.
was to answer questions. This was also done really late in the game. It wasn't in the script for the longest time that they said. The only appearance of the Justice League was meant to be those images on the computer. I would really like it if Superman wasn't going to be the villain to do with the dark side. But I can understand that at the end of the day, Superman is the powerhouse of the team, and so pick any story, they always find a way to sideline Superman. Like if you remember Justice League War and the animated show, Superman got captured by Darkseid and he was out of the show, which meant that the rest of the heroes got a chance to actually do something. Which makes sense. I just don't really want an evil Superman. We've had a lot of
I
frowny.
don't want evil Superman.
Yeah, me
That-
either. But as I said, I would have loved it to have been wrapped up by the end of the movie. If he'd said Martha's the key, then you could argue that at the end of this movie, he has stopped the thing
Right.
that would have caused this injustice future. But at the end of it, I don't think he has. You know. So.
Yeah.
For me, I really
Yeah.
hope they decide not to go in the direction of injustice. I wasn't a big fan of that story, to be honest with you. The whole alternate reality meets the a different. This
Oh,
this
now
reality
you're on my
meets-
side.
No, I just don't want to, like that. It's fine if it wants
Yeah.
to exist in video game form and comic form. I have no issue with that. I've read Injustice. It was a good read for what it was, but I don't want to see that a third time. I don't need to see that on screen in live action. I just don't need to see that story rehashed again.
Yeah.
I would rather just I'd rather them do what Justice League Unlimited did and have Lex and Brainiac kind of come together physically and metaphorically, and do that storyline over an evil Superman working for Darkseid. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think we've had too much, and not that I agree that Superman was too frowny. I understand there's a reason for that, but I would like that after he comes back to life. We already know at the end of the movie that practically it seems like everyone's on his side now. Anyone that was a hater in Metropolis, I know not everyone would be, but for the most part, the end of this movie is saying everyone's on his side. They're all come to his grave. He died for us. He died for our sins. Christ, metaphor there. But yeah, so basically, I would just like it if he was just a human. They could still sideline him. He could get hurt by kryptonite. He's out with the movie for half an hour where he can't help, but don't make him evil.
Yeah, it just seems like,
I don't want to
and that whole Injustice storyline it's very similar to Anakin Skywalker when you think about it. Like Superman turned into fucking Anakin Skywalker and became a whiny, bitchy, power-hungry nutbag after Lois was murdered by the Joker. So what did he do? He killed the Joker and went nuts.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. So.
Yeah, he stuck his hand through the chest like he did with Batman in the future sequence. Yeah.
What I was trying to remember the order of the line that the Flash said. Does he change what he says? Like, am I too soon? So I was wondering, like, you've always been right about him. I was wondering if it was like you've always been right about Darkseid, and then realizes, oh, I'm too soon, and then has to backpedal and realize what time he's in, and then goes, oh, this is the part where you and Superman were fighting. Lois is the key. So I didn't know if that's where the switch. He thought he was ahead of where he...
I think he says I'm too soon first. Then he says you were always right about him. It goes... I think he says Bruce, and then he says, after that, it goes, it's Lois, it's always been Lois, or something like that. He's talking about Lois, and then he goes, oh, I'm too soon, and then after that he says, you were always right about him.
No, and then he says, you have to listen, you have to find us, meaning you have to get the Justice League together to be ready. So that maybe means in that future he didn't do that, so he's having to change things. It was a good touch to add him in. It really... I think it polarised fans as well. I'm sure there's Flash fans that hated it, but we all know, you've seen that Snyder Momoa picture. The Flash costume looks pretty classic in the background. Yeah. It's a bit metallic-y, shiny, but it still looks like a cool Flash suit. It looks sort of regular.
What did you guys, since you mentioned Momoa, what did you guys think of Aquaman? It was really kind of funny with all of this promotional stuff out there. There's an action figure. He has zero line. I mean, I thought that scene was really cool. It showed. I don't know if it was Jason had said some people were laughing in the theater.
I was laughing.
Are you? Yeah.
Really?
It was awkward. His hair's flowing, and he's like,
I did like
staring into the. It was just like the scene was just too long. He should have just.
It was a little long.
He should have just been like, "What is this? What is this?"
Oh, hi,
thing?
Wally. I just
and then
Wally
smashed it, and then bolted. Like it was just like he was just like the hair's flowing.
Didn't you like that? I liked that he had cat's eyes. That in the darkness you saw his eyes glistening like he wasn't
glowing.
human.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
And it was a bit long.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a bit long, but I liked it nonetheless.
People complained that it looked like he was smiling.
Sonic underwater. That was cool.
Yeah, he broke the sound barrier or whatever, like underwater. That was cool.
Yeah. What did you guys think of? What did you think of Lex Luthor having the symbols of all the heroes on the shoulders?
I was going to ask that. You stole my question.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Can I elaborate?
Yeah.
So wait, so that's a big thing that I've seen people be really negative about is like, I don't like that Lex like named all the heroes, but like I didn't get the impression that he named them, and like the biggest thing about it is that when the senator comes to see him, he says something, and she says, oh, the Metahuman Project. So like, how does she know about it? If he's the one, like, does he share this with the world if he made it up? So I think it's maybe like a government thing, and like...
Yeah. Was it the metahuman theory she called it, wasn't it? Like just a theory?
Yeah.
The metahuman
Whatever,
thesis.
human thesis, yeah.
Thesis, yeah.
Yeah. I took that as, people are like, oh, he came up with the Aquaman symbol. That is totally for us, the viewers at home, as seeing, look, there's the Flash symbol, there's Cyborg, there's Aquaman. Yes, it's on there. I think people were reading too much into that, like, oh, you mean Lex had time to change his Windows, Microsoft, like, I'm going to make an A, I'm going to make a flat.
In his defense, though, every single character...
was already on him, though.
Yeah, well, when you see Aquaman, you can see the symbol on his belt.
Yeah.
When you see Wonder Woman, she's got the W on her tiara.
Right.
When you see Flash, okay, he's put a lightning symbol because there was a lot of electricity and lightning. And Cyborg, I'm sure that you see that symbol at the bottom right, like the guy's company. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That was quite horrible, though, wasn't it? When you saw Vic Stone, like
Yeah.
he
That
looked
was
like
the coolest scene.
That
That was
great.
my favorite of the four, that
with
they
the
showed.
with the mother box.
Yeah.
And it was making the ding 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 noise as well, which is a good
Yeah.
callback to later.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding. It's quite
Yeah.
cool.
I was not thinking we were going to see that, and to know that there was dialogue. It's escaping me who the actor is that's playing his dad. I've liked him in a lot of things.
Terminator 2, the guy that played Dyson in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
He was.
But I thought
he's
that
been
scene
a lot-
that scene was great. I thought it was really cool getting to see. I thought, I wonder how we're gonna, like, going into it. I thought, oh, we're probably gonna see, Vic probably, at the football game, the very first scene that they shot,
Which they never showed.
Actually, they did. If you look in the news report in the Daily Planet, there's TV monitors in the back in the bottom right-hand corner.
How the fuck did you see that?
You can ask Ellen for that. Because we walked out of the theater, I was like, they didn't show the football game anywhere. She's like, yeah, it was. It was on a monitor behind Lois. I'm like, get out of here. So during.
And you saw it on Friday. You looked for it on Friday.
Yeah, I looked for it on Friday. I mean, I saw it 3 times. The second time, I forgot to look for it. So in the Daily Planet, you can see it. I'm like, holy crap, it's right there. You can see them running the play that Perry was talking about. So I thought that was cool. Good pick, Ellen.
Wasn't it funny that they kind of changed Perry's character? Perry became, this is the headline, now do the story. He's doing that quite a lot, which is quite funny.
I liked him. He was
Yeah,
great.
so did I.
Well, I thought that was great. Crime in Gotham. Water. Wet. I thought that was great. I had another question. Just totally lost. I lost my.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the Flashes.
The Flash.
Video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got long hair. Oh man.
Yeah. To me, this is my take from it.
Not long hair. That just we can't
How
have that.
dare he?
Long-haired hippie running. I think I said in our chat, our chat log, the meme. I'm sure people have probably seen it by now. That this is what happens when you do meth on the Speed Force or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's
Shows
hilarious.
Grant Gustin, the Flash, and then shows Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
But I think
Someone posted, "Fucking hipster, where's your beanie?" on over what was it, the Flag or the Flash when he's in the the grocery store.
Yeah.
God.
I didn't mind it so much, and I know that he just recently cut his hair.
Yeah.
Probably in the last 3 or 4 months, and they start filming Justice League tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know.
He's gonna have
tomorrow.
short hair in the Justice League.
Yeah, he'll have it. So I just took that as he was
He's not the
probably.
Flash yet.
Yeah, I took it that he was probably doing something else. Like, I'm not going to cut my hair right now for whatever film project he was working on.
Right.
Did his Batman vs Superman scene, and that's why he looked the way that he did.
That's the other thing as well. Yeah, they probably filmed that scene like Jason Momoa. Remember when he did that Unite the Seven thing? That he took that picture the same day he filmed that sort of scene where he came out, and it was one and done.
Yeah.
And that video could have been taken 2 years ago. You don't know how long it's meant to have been that he's cut his hair. So I'm totally fine with the way they all looked. I can't wait to see their movies. I just hope DC don't kind of look at
Get
the amount of
scared.
money. Yeah, get
Yeah.
scared and cut the amount of movies. Because a lot of the stuff on Facebook is just rumors. People are saying, oh, they're going to cut the movies. They're going to...
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
To me,
They're not.
where people are like, oh, they're going to bring George Miller in. We're at a point right now, at least with this film, Justice League Part
Right.
1, you're too far down the rabbit hole. You can't rip out a director in even past the 11th hour and then have this new director go, where are we at? So I firmly believe there's going to be probably somebody at Zack Snyder's side going, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Probably making him a little gunshot.
The thing about everyone bitching about Zack Snyder, it's fucking people stop bitching about Zack Snyder. It's not fucking Zack Snyder. It's fucking David Goyer's fault. David Goyer is notorious for putting too much shit in one movie. Look at Blade Trinity. Look at all the other movies that he's done. He puts entirely too much shit in one movie, and that's why people are bitching about this. Because, the fucking movie's all over the place, and this, that, and the other thing. Blame David Goyer, and this is why David Goyer, they're not having him go. They're not going to have him involved with the upcoming movies.
Didn't Terrio rewrite all his stuff though?
No,
he helped. He didn't rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah,
They both got credited as writers.
And I'm sure Terrio was brought in probably by Ben and was like, there's some stuff that needs to be tightened up.
Yeah, there's some Batman stuff you need to fix.
Yeah, can you fix my character thing?
But yeah, we will not see Goyer's name attached to Justice League Part
Do
1.
we know who wrote Justice League? Or who's
Terrio.
writing? It is Terrio?
Terrio.
There was an interview recently where he was talking about Atlantis and the Amazonian, Themyscira. That he was doing a lot of work about the history of Atlantis and things like that. So people are inferring that Aquaman may be the villain's the wrong word, but that's who they may be butting
Throne
heads
of
with,
Atlantis.
possibly.
Yeah.
Throne of Atlantis type of a deal. So
right. Cool.
And I can imagine, I don't think that Superman will be, he'll be out of the movie for at least half of Justice League. I would think you don't just bring him back in the first shot. There's got to be some kind of, you've got to earn it. You've got to find something that will save him. Or anyway,
He might not even come back till the end of Part 1 because it is a two-parter.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm envisioning it kind of like Luke Skywalker,
Mark Hamill,
Mark Hamill, that you have all this big build up, and then maybe that's the first time we see Darkseid, and it looks like the Justice League is down and out, and bam, there's Superman lands, and the movie ends. I could see something like that happening.
Question. Similarly, this whole marketing has been Unite the Seven, and yet we still only have 6. Now we're assuming Green Lantern's going to be the 7. When do you think we'll see him? When, or them?
The first
Second.
Justice League.
I think
that's
second
the first
movie.
one.
Yeah. I think second one.
Yeah. I think it depends on when they bring Superman back. If they're not bringing Superman back till the end of the first movie, we won't see Green Lantern till the second movie. I don't think.
I was looking at Instagram, and there's a picture of I'm trying to find it. A picture of Momoa, Ray Frank, and is that his name? Cyborg.
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher.
And Henry Cavill. It says tomorrow's a big day, and it's the 3 of them. So Henry's on set, but
Oh yeah.
Henry's been training.
They don't film in order.
Yeah, so they could be doing Henry's part first right now. Okay, good, I'm done, I'm out, and then
because he just might not have much to do right now, like another movie to film, so they might want to get it out of the way.
Here's the thing, this is minor, but do you think they would change Superman's costume since we kind of saw him in the future having the exact same suit? Do you think they would just not care and just give him a totally new suit? Because every superhero movie, they always change the suits. Even all the Dark Knight movies, they change the suit between each one just subtly.
Well,
sells more toys.
Black, silver. Black, silver.
The black and silver.
Do you think his suit is in that casket? Because if it is, he's going to need a new suit. They buried his suit.
Well, no, because remember the shot in Smallville?
This one's dirty.
Remember, he was in an open casket in Smallville, and he had a black suit
not
on.
that one. In the military funeral.
Because
they don't have his body. You don't think they have the suit?
That's got Doomsday's hand and a bunch of rocks in it.
Even Diana said it. They don't know how to honor him. They're giving a military a soldier's funeral, and all they have is an empty casket in DC. So I mean, they made reference that it's empty. I mean, there could be a costume in it, but
which also makes it more intriguing for when he comes back, because no one will know, because he's not buried in DC. He's buried at home, which a lot of people don't know that he's. I'm assuming people don't know that he's buried.
Well,
at home
it was still in the paper that he was dead, though, wasn't it? It said local reporter dies.
Yeah.
In rubble. Of course, that's what happens in the comics, and when he comes back,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying people don't know about Clark Kent and Superman. I'm saying the fact that they won't know when he resurrects or he comes back. I shouldn't say resurrects, because he's just in I'm assuming a healing coma. They won't know that when he comes out, he's in Kansas and he's not.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that as well. Can you imagine if Justice League starts and Superman is alive and he's just basically went up to meet a fortress kind of thing, and he's just kind of in seclusion, like what was that again? It was Kingdom Come. Superman was just an egg. Of course, I don't know why he'd be in exile, because he's kind of resolved that he needs to be Superman. So I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, but it could work. You could spin it though, because what if he's in exile to
regenerate?
No, not only to heal, but to let people heal. You know what I mean? Because so many people hated him, and now that he's gone and he died for this cause, maybe now he's gone. He's staying away so people will still believe in his cause, because his cause is worth more that he's gone than he's back, and then he'll eventually come back when the big threat comes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you guys? Obviously, we're talking about how much we like the film and stuff. What were your biggest negatives? What were the things that you absolutely do not like after seeing it so many times? Is there anything?
I think Stu just took Rob's job.
Oh, sorry. That was just something that popped in.
I'm just kidding.
Bye, Rob.
Sorry.
No, take the show. I hate this. I hate this damn movie.
Welcome to Stu's Rogue.
No, my biggest part was killing characters that didn't need killed. Jimmy Olsen. Expecting is the wrong word. I don't know how to say that. Like you have to come into this movie with 75 years knowledge of all these characters. So I don't know how to articulate that enough. That it's more of like there's a missing movie in the 18 months between Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, where Superman is doing Superman things. He's saving cats out of a tree and doing that type of stuff. You kind of have to infer a lot of stuff and really be listening and paying attention to kind of what's going on. That's I don't know. I don't even know if I said that right. You've got to bring a lot of knowledge into this. For the average person, I can see why people have maybe a problem with it.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. Like that's as a like a DC fan, I'd have less negatives than someone who's doesn't know anything about these characters, and that you're making a huge blockbuster movie essentially. You kind of have to not dumb it down, but make sure that things are explained so that the general audience gets it. And there are they miss some points there, and that's unfortunate. But for me personally, I don't mind because I got it. But after seeing it 3 times, I'm not really even bothered by the pacing issues anymore. Like I find that the beginning is very kind of disjointed. They're explaining this, they're explaining this, they're explaining this, and it's like, all right, okay, whoa, but it comes into its own, and I don't know. I'm finding it harder and harder to find really big negatives. Okay, wait. Pa Kent. I hate the Pa Kent. Okay. Pa Kent is a jerk, and I hate that scene. That's it.
Rob and I were talking about that before we went live, about the Pa Kent scene, and I was saying, I don't really mind it, but there are issues I've got with it. The main thing is, there's 2 things. One is that he's basically telling a story to Clark that Clark doesn't know. And it's a dream, so it's like, is it a dream? Is it a vision? Because he's telling him a story he's never heard before, so it doesn't make sense. I was saying to Rob, what I think would have been 100 times better if they could have done it would be, imagine he's walking up, the sort of mountain. When he gets to the top, there's Russell Crowe standing in his full Kryptonian garb, and it was him telling him a Krypton story. about something similar. You know, there was some goats that are flooded on Krypton, and the horses drowned. I'm joking, but I think it would have been so much more powerful if it had been Jor-El on top of the mountain as opposed to Pa-Kent.
I didn't even. The whole thing, the whole point of the scene was literally so they could have him say, "She was my world," so that we get later when Clark says it, "You're my world." Okay, cool, we get it now. It's like big circle. But like we were saying yesterday when we came out of the theater, like they could have just had Clark find like an old photo or a letter like in the Kent house, like that maybe he wrote to Ma Kent saying like, "You're my world." And that's it. We could have got it without having to have this weird vision or a dream.
Or as Rob said earlier as well, or if it was a flashback, an actual just him sitting there on a mountaintop, a flashback to Kevin Costner and his mum, and he overheard him saying to his mum, "You're my world," and it just made him think, you know. I agree. I could have done without the Pa-Kent scene as well. I think that could have easily.
Especially after seeing that deleted scene with Lex, I felt like that was way more important. They could have put that in instead of Pa-Kent, and like. Oh, then we understand that the ding, ding, ding at the end, way more.
Yeah. No, I agree. There was two things I had. I mean, the pacing issues I had at first when I first came out the movie, the first time I saw it, I did think that it was a bit all over the place. Like, for example, the dream sequences start with no lead in. It cuts from a shot of like Lois to a shot of Batman walking out into this barren terrain. And you know, of course, I knew what it was quick enough. I knew it was the dream sequence, but that didn't bother me at all, as you said, Olivia. Second showing, it didn't bother me. But two things that did bother me was the crashed Kryptonian ship. Superman didn't take that away. He just left it there. That made no sense to me that he would leave that. Or Zod's body. What did he just leave it in the
Damn it,
train
that's what I was
station?
gonna say.
Yeah, he should have been buried. It would have made more sense if they found out where Superman buried his body. That would have been good. You know, if they found his body. But the fact that he just let the military have Zod's body and that the crashed ship was still where it crashed, you know, a year and a half ago, they just built a building around it. I didn't like that at all. I thought I would have also. When you saw him walking in the snow, did you not think Fortress of Solitude the first time you saw his feet? I thought, Fortress! Even when he was saving the ship, I thought that's what was happening. But those are minor quibbles that I had.
Mine was, how the fuck did Lex know how to build Doomsday?
Well, he said, "Tell me everything." He said, "Tell me everything" to the ship.
It did. But like, how do you know? You know, I didn't. There were certain scenes I didn't understand with Lex. Like when he cut his hand, and then it went into the whatever that soup that they was basically had Zod's body in.
The stasis chamber.
What was the point of that? Was it? Did he have to use his blood?
Yeah.
Like live DNA.
Well, what happened in that scene was he basically said something along the lines of input this DNA, and it said something like, "That's been done before on Krypton. It's an abomination. It's been banned." And he said, so it's obviously told him that this is a Genesis chamber. It's meant to make Kryptonians. However, once there was other DNA mixed, and it caused an abomination. So I think that's the thing, because he says, "Tell me everything," and it cuts. You have no idea what that ship has said to him about everything. You know, about what Superman can do and what enemies there are out there and stuff.
Yeah, I think most of that is just because I've only seen it once, so I probably didn't pick up on everything. I don't know if it's necessarily things that bothered me. It's just things I was confused about.
Yeah.
A lot of people were confused about the dream sequences, but dreams don't have to make sense. When we wake up after having a dream, we're like, "What the fuck does that mean? I don't know what does that mean? I got
what was that
chased
giant
by Jason
bat?
Voorhees last night in my dream. That means absolutely nothing." So, dream sequences to me don't need to make sense. I mean, we all read comics, but when the masses read a comic, they would understand it better, I feel like, because comics tend to jump around. They don't stick, okay, this is the story, we're going to stick with the story continuously, and we're not going to do any past, sequences or present or future sequences, you know what I mean? That's what they do. Comics skip around. So I got the whole dream sequence thing. That didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, even Batman using the guns that he was using a 45 in the Nightmare sequence, that didn't bother me because it's a dream, and
Well, it was
It
no,
could've
it was a
just
few.
been-
It wasn't a dream. It was like it happened. I think, isn't it? Like when Flash came back. Remember in Flashpoint Paradox when Flash came back, it caused people to experience memories from the new future he'd just come from. Like,
Yeah.
kind of. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So basically, what's happened is Flash has appeared in the Batcave, and instantly, but Bruce has had his brain filled with memories of what other Bruce would have experienced. So I took that as like Bruce having an actual vision of his life 20 years, well, 5 years from now or something.
And I'm more forgiving of that scene of like it's an apocalyptic world. At this point, it's just a matter of trying to survive in this world with Darkseid and everything else and the new gods that are going on. So a Batman that's going around killing people, he's got greater problems than to worry about trying to save people.
Yeah.
But it's in the future. I think that's where I was coming from with mine, that it seemed not disjointed. There wasn't some information that we were given, but like Anthony said, in reading a comic book, especially if you're like reading the Darkseid War, if it's just ending, reading those very first couple issues of the Darkseid War written by Jeff Johns, going, what is going on? I think this movie, even 3 years from now, is going to make even more sense, going, oh, that's that thing that they showed in Batman versus Superman. By the time we get to, by the end of Justice League 1, you go back and watch this movie, I think things will start clicking in. You're like, oh, that makes sense. And like Anthony said, that's how a comic book is written. You don't open the first pages of a comic book and saying, this scene means this. That's totally going to spoil an end for you.
Yeah.
You gotta have the journey of reading the book.
exactly. What would be the point of even doing the scenes? I mean, if you have no imagination as to what's going to come in the future with other movies. I mean, you don't want to give away what's going on. So that's why there's a reason why those scenes are cryptic and they're short and they're out of nowhere. There's a reason. And I feel like all the true comic fans would like those scenes and get the direction that they're going. So
I think the only movie that's been more comic-like is Ang Lee's Hulk. Remember, because that actually had all the panels on the screen and everything was moving around. And but yeah, as I said, second viewing, I really need to see it a third time. But the second viewing, I really had no issues at all with anything. I'd had issues with it, and I didn't really have any issues. There were just things that I wasn't, as you said, I wasn't too sure about. Like, what exactly did Flash say? I missed a couple of words here and there, but like. I mean, I think everyone that I've read a review of agrees that the last half an hour is just brilliant. That, the action, the fight. And that was my biggest worry going into the movie was, why would Superman be fighting Batman? I understand Batman's point because of, Metropolis and all that stuff, but why would Superman be fighting? And he answered it perfectly. He was essentially blackmailed into it. And he didn't want to. He
didn't even want to.
Yeah, when he first landed, he was like, Bruce, we need to talk about this. And of course, Bruce wasn't hearing any of it. And
he
then,
was like, I don't give a shit.
And then Superman was like, what? Superman was then like, look, I don't have time for this. That's why he started throwing Bruce about, because he didn't have time. His mum had 35, 40 minutes left to live. So he was kind of trying to subdue him, basically.
Yeah. Since we were talking about comics, unless anybody has any final thoughts, I know we're kind of going a little long here. I wanted to hit a couple little points, but I think we could go on forever. So I know Stu's a little bit later than we are, so I don't make it too late. Any final thoughts on Batman versus Superman? I know after the first viewing came out, I came home and I started seeing pre-orders on Amazon right away for the statue and all that type of stuff. So for me to buy and pre-order a movie almost instantaneously right after having coming out of the theater, I loved it. This is my favorite DC movie to this point. People said, oh, what's your favorite Batman movie? And I'm always kind of like, I'm going to get booed for this. My guilty pleasure Batman movie up to this point has been Batman Forever. I don't know what it is about it.
Get out.
I know.
The fight sequences are good.
I think that's what I like about it. And then, I'm a big Robin fan, so seeing Robin in there. But if somebody said, what do you think the best movie is if I had to rank it, I'm tossed between The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. But after seeing this now 3 times, this is my favorite DC movie. Yeah. And then, I could go down the list from there. But I think you guys have any final thoughts before we get into some of our last couple topics. Stu?
I'll just say once again, I really loved the movie. I never got a chance to actually do a review on Facebook. I was annoyed. I always wanted to do one. But I really loved the movie. It spoke to me as a Superman fan. It spoke to me as a DC fan. Everything that happened in it, I loved. Okay, I know we've talked about some quibbles, but those are really minor. I'm really optimistic for the rest of the DC movie slate. Justice League, Suicide Squad. I genuinely can't wait. The whole thing about the budget, so the amount of money it's made. I mean, what is it? It's coming close to 850 million. It's past Man of Steel. It's past Daredevil. Not Daredevil. Deadpool. It's past Guardians of the Galaxy, which was one of their sort of sleeper hits. So I mean, people that keep saying it's a failure, they're just doing it to keep being negative. It's a successful movie. I don't think Warner Brothers is worried.
Marvel fanboys.
Well, yeah. The other thing I was going to say was as well that, as you said, a lot of Marvel fans are putting it down and stuff. But bear in mind that I think Warner Brothers gave this movie a standing ovation, when it was shown to them. So they obviously thought it was going to be a hit. I think it has been. It took me by surprise how badly it has actually been received. It's been quite annoying. But I'm hoping that, and that's the other thing, I don't want people to think back to this movie and think poorly, because I think that Man of Steel has become that way. People think back to Man of Steel about how it wasn't very good, and it's a good movie, and so is this one. So I'm glad I went to see it. I'm going to go and see it a third time with my wife, and I can't wait for the next movie. So that's me.
The biggest detriment for this movie is the fact that most of the masses are saying is, well, it's not like Marvel. Well, guess what? It's not a fucking Marvel movie. It's a DC movie. It's not gonna have fucking humor. We don't have Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Oh, and that's what most people's complaints are. Well, if they can make Ant-Man, a guy that can turn in and talk to ants, work, why can't DC make Batman vs Superman work? Well, it did work if you understood the tone that they're trying to go with. I mean, they're not going with Marvel's tone because that's Marvel.
Yeah.
It's a totally different company with a different direction, and they don't want to copy. Does everyone want to copy off what fucking Marvel's doing? That's boring.
Well,
you gotta have your night and day difference.
And what people forget is that how many Marvel movies haven't really been received that well. Like Iron Man 2 is universally hated by a lot of people.
Iron Man
3, even Thor 2 wasn't really regarded that well. I mean, I like them all. They're all really entertaining.
Yeah.
But people always just compare it to Marvel, like every single Marvel movie's amazing, and they're not. They've all got their flaws.
No.
So I don't
even the fucking Avengers has its flaws. So
Avengers Age of Ultron was not good.
Avengers Age of Ultron was boring.
Not good.
I think something could be said. I love the Marvel movies. Like we've all said it before, but I think Disney and Marvel play things very safe, and we seeing the Age of Ultron trailers like, ooh, they're really going to go somewhere dark, and it's like, no, they really didn't. They played it safe. It was paint by numbers, and
Ultron was the comic relief.
Yeah, it was really weird. All said and done, I don't know.
And it was one of the worst adaptations of fucking Ultron I've ever witnessed in my life. It was absolutely awful. He was nothing like the original Ultron. He's laughing and making jokes. I'm like, this isn't Ultron. This is Tony Stark in a suit.
Yeah.
He was acting literally just like Tony Stark.
When he cut off Ulysses Claw's hand and he was like, ooh, sorry, ooh.
Yeah, that's not Ultron.
I mean, I wanted Ultron to, when he cut off the hand, I wanted it to be really maniacal and really scare the crap out of it to amp it up. I want to jump into Civil War.
Yeah.
I know that the thing says DC Comics Rebirth. We may tag it on at the end. Since we just brought it up, we'll go out of Batman versus Superman. And I wonder, with Civil War coming out, if this is Marvel going to go, all right, we're going to do the unthinkable. We're going to kill somebody off. Are they going to kill a D-lister that really, like, oh, okay, it's not Cap, it's not Tony, it's, Hawkeye, whoever.
Well, they're teasing War Machine's death, which means he probably won't die.
No, he'll be like what's his name again? Happy. Is it Happy?
Yeah.
What's
Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan.
I miss Happy.
When Happy got blown up and he was in the hospital bed, I think there's no doubt in my mind he's not going to die. I think almost certainly. Well, that's the thing. It makes sense. It's going to be Cap because we know. See, that's the thing. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, his contract ends with this. He's only got one more movie, and Sebastian Stan has got like a 6-movie deal.
I know, but that's the thing. I think they're going to save it for the first Infinity War or something, because I remember reading.
Signed on though?
Who?
Evans is
I'm
signed
pretty
on
sure
for-
he is. And the whole thing about his contract ending was like everybody was making this big deal about it, like, oh, I don't want to act anymore. He said that wasn't true. Like he'll sign on again if they want him to. Like I'm sure he would stick around if they want.
Well,
But
there's no point on what was the point of doing this movie? He's not going to die.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
can
thing.
you
Marvel,
imagine?
Marvel does that though. They did that with Age of Ultron. It had nothing to do with the Age of Ultron story. You know, this Civil War, it's probably got nothing to do with Civil War story either.
It's going to be very
the
different.
Characters that were in said story, and that's it. It's going to be a totally different story.
See, I don't think it's going to happen, but I do think. I'm just contradicting myself. I don't think it's going to happen, but can you imagine if they kill Tony in this movie? No one would ever expect that they would get rid of Downey Jr. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it'll happen at all. But can you imagine if Downey Jr. is the one that dies, and that's what makes Cap stop the fight, and obviously Rhodey would then become Iron Man, because Downey Jr. Let's be honest, Downey Jr. makes all the money. He makes all the money. He makes like $50 million a movie because he didn't get a percentage of the Avengers. I think he made more money than like.
He Jack Nicholson the Marvel movies. Yeah, definitely.
Did you hear that story just very briefly? It was what's the guy that plays Falcon? What's his name again?
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah. Did you see that Collider interview he did? Because he was doing an interview because of what's it called? 999. He was doing an interview and they were talking about how apparently on every movie that Downey Jr.'s on, he has this entire sort of city that comes with him, and it's like 5-10 camper vans that all attach together. He has a garden, and he has this massive thing that all connects together.
Weird.
I know, and it was like everyone wants to go inside this thing, and I thought
probably filled with cocaine and hookers.
Oh
no. I mean, I think we're all excited for the movie. I don't want anybody to come off and go, "Oh, you guys are all DC fans." No, I'm excited as well to get out to see Spider-Man swing across.
You can ask any of these guys every day. I've been like, anytime somebody says something about Civil War, I just Spidey.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So.
I was saying to Rob earlier before we went live. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but on Facebook there's so many. Like one of my friends on Facebook posted Civil War spoilers ... and I quickly got away from it. The other thing was someone posted Spidey's runtime revealed, and I just quickly closed it. I don't want to know if he's in it for 5 minutes, 25 minutes. I just want to be surprised.
I already read like he's in longer than you'll think, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. I don't need any more. Thank you.
That was something that Stu and I were talking about right before we went live, and I wanted to ask you guys this. I think I've kind of said before in our chat log. I'm tired. To me, if the movie comes out May 19th, whatever it is, that's the day it comes out. There are no private screenings. There are none of that stuff. The UK, sorry Stu, you guys don't get it early. We don't get it early. This is the day it comes out. I don't need some critic from Rolling Stone to go, this is the best movie I've seen, or this is the worst movie. I went into Batman vs. Superman going, oh man, this is going to suck. I was like crushed because of it. And then I came out, I spent the whole time going, is this the part where it sucks? Is this the part where it sucks? And I go, no, that was good. So I don't need somebody telling me that the movie is good before I go see it. I don't need it, and now I've got to go, great, now the movie doesn't come out for another month. Now I got to spend a month off of Facebook or a month off of, my wife's always saying, well, just don't open up the website. I'm like, I can't.
It's too hard.
Facebook. Some knucklehead is going to go, Han Solo's dead. Great, thanks a lot. The very first thing I see.
Wait, he died? You son of a bitch.
But that's when The Force Awakens came out, looking the Star Wars Instagram, I just happened to catch the very recent post the night before and saw that. I'm like, great, now I know. I just
did you get that spoiled?
Yeah, I had it
spoiled. I didn't know.
I had that spoiled for me too.
I did.
That's horrible.
So that's a big gripe I have of like.
I didn't, but I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of the same. I mean, Harrison Ford was desperate to kill off Han, wasn't he? Even back in Jedi, he didn't want to come back. Yeah. But no, see, I must admit, with this movie, I'm not as... Like Batman v Superman, I closed down Facebook. I've never done that before for a week, but I still managed to get something spoiled. So I mean, if I was to see something that ruined Civil War, it wouldn't upset me, I think, as much as BvS. But I do love the Marvel movies. I've always said that. I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I like them too. Don't get me wrong, but I think people, and by people I mean the Marvel community, and I'm a member of the Marvel community too.
Yeah.
They tend to overhype things. Like Ant-Man was a bit overhyped for what it was. You know what I mean? It was a good movie, but it had the same exact tone from Iron Man. If you look at it from the blueprint perspective, it had the same exact blueprint of Iron Man. It was basically Iron Man 1.
Yeah. I feel like, and I don't want to like start any wars or anything between fans, but like I feel like DC fans are always like, yeah, DC, and then they're always like, I like Marvel too, and then the Marvel fans are always like, I like Marvel, yeah, screw DC. I'm like, why? Like,
Why can't you like both?
Like both?
Yeah.
Because there can only be one.
one publisher to rule them all. What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, we want monopolies, damn it. We don't
This
want
is the comic Bible, and only one universe exists. It's
Yeah.
Image.
No.
You know. Yeah. And I know, like, on all of our separate channels, I think Anthony does really good at having, loads to look at from Marvel, DC, wrestling, and all those type of things. Olivia is very much the same way. For Stu and I think our hats are in the DC. Every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, I found this Incredible Hulk figure. It's kind of cool. Jason's not here, but I know he's kind of across the board either. He's got a G.I. Joe camp. So I'm looking this as more of not a Marvel DC. This is like geekdom. This is something that I've been waiting for years growing up in school and being like, oh, you're the nerd. You like, superheroes and G.I. Joe and Transformers and Voltron, Defender of the Universe. And now it's like everybody, I'm got my arms crossed. It's like it's about friggin' time. Way to join the party,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the best thing about it is that if you don't have these two companies going at each other to put out the best possible product, and you only have one, the shit's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
And I'll just make a great analogy right now, and it's got to do with wrestling, and I'll make it real short and sweet.
No.
The WWE is the only company right now. It's the biggest company. It's got the monopoly. It corners the market when it comes to what product they put out. I know there's a couple other corporations. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'm just saying the shit has been watered down since the mid 2000s. It's been watered the fuck down. And the writing has gone to shit. The booking has gone bad. And if you only my whole point I'm saying that is if you have one company, it's the product is going to go down. When you have two companies going at each other like they did with the Monday Night Wars with wrestling back then, that's why it was so big with The Rock and Steve Austin. When you have these two companies putting out great products because they have to do their best.
They push each
got
other.
to do their best.
Yeah.
They're pushing each other
Push
to the
each
limits at all times, and you're getting the best possible superhero products that you could ask for right now.
Boom.
Yep.
Mic drop.
There was a part of me. How cool would it have been not for originally the movie was slated to come out the same time as Civil War, and we were like, "Woo, they're going head to head." How cool would that have been to come out of Batman vs Superman and go right into the next theater and see Civil War? That'd have been great as a fan. Two superhero properties. Okay, we'll see Civil War tonight, and tomorrow we'll go see Batman vs Superman. I'd have loved the crap out of that.
Me too.
I thought the time might have worked out that will The Force Awakens still be in theaters while Batman vs Superman and Civil War going on? And I'm like, I'm going to make a day of it and just go to movie theaters and see all these films.
Well, actually, what's the term? It's like rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah.
So as the quality goes up, everyone kind of wins.
And I don't think there's anybody in the Marvel camp that's going, please plummet. This is going to suck. This is going to make us great. Because if they start seeing that, like, oh, people aren't interested in this anymore, we've got a whole slate of movies. If they're not liking this, then they're sure as heck not going to like our stuff. So
then wave goodbye to your future movies that you're looking forward to. Because they have the power to do that like that.
Yeah. One of the last things, I know I'm saying this is going long, DC Comics Rebirth, I just kind of want to touch on this just a little bit. Is anybody, I think we're all kind of excited about it. I think people are really getting invested into it. I'm on probably now more titles than I've been on since the New 52. I think it's cool that some books are going to be twice a month. Some people are like, yeah, the $2.99 just going to bite you in the butt because you're buying double the books.
Yeah.
So it could be $3.99 or $4.99. Still buying 2 books. So not every book is going to be twice a month. I'm excited about it. Back on a lot of the Batman titles, Titans, Teen Titans, Super Sons. Because of Batman versus Superman, I'm picking up my first Wonder Woman comic ever with Greg Rucka writing it.
Yeah, people are stoked about that. I mean, I've never read his original run, but they say it's pretty much like the best Wonder Woman run.
Yeah. That and also Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason are going to be doing the Superman main Superman title. I think that's really cool. I love them in Batman and Robin. So seeing that whole creative team do Superman, I think is going to be pretty cool. What are you guys going to be on? Anything, Olivia?
Did we lose Anthony?
No, he's there.
Okay.
He's looking at porn again.
Oh, Anthony.
No, me and my porn.
You know I'm super excited for Rebirth. I haven't hit the whole list and like literally checked everything off. I'll probably end up reading like a lot of stuff digitally at first to get a feel for like what I really want to stick with, but definitely looking forward to like having Teen Titans and Titans, and Super Sons looks interesting. I'm a little disappointed we don't get Connor Kent anywhere, that it's now Jonathan Kent, and like I'll see what I think. Detective Comics looks awesome. Super psyched for that.
Can't wait.
You guys know I'm like super obsessed with like the whole Wally West shit, but I'm really looking forward to the Flash Rebirth and the Rebirth title and Titans Rebirth to see if there's anything in that. I mean, I'd really like to see them bring classic Wally back with this new Wally. Have 2 Wallies, that's fine, I don't care. I like Wallies, I have a cat Wally, So all the Wallies. But we'll see. I'm trying not to get my hopes up. But it's really exciting. I mean, overall, and then I don't know how much you guys know from the Emerald City with the whole Gerard Way getting his imprint. What's it? Young Animal?
Young Animals.
Yeah. The new Doom Patrol. A bunch of other titles, and then they're doing like the round robin like Kamandi. How do you say his name? Kamandi. They're doing that. That sounds kind of fun.
Right.
Yeah, okay, good. Right. Yay! Like I don't know anything about that character, but what they're doing is like it's like 1 issue for each pair of like a writer and an artist that kind of got randomly paired together. Though I'm not convinced that it was random, because Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner ended up together, and they're always together because they're married. So I don't know if I believe it was random, but that sounds pretty cool. They're doing like really interesting things, so I'm staying really positive, and looking forward to where it goes and seeing. I'm also excited to see. It hasn't even started yet, but I'm also excited to see the second wave when we're hopefully going to see like Shazam and the JSA and stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah. I know that's something that Jason, since he's not here, he's dying to have a JSA. Yeah. Which I think that'd be pretty cool. And I like how Jeff Johns and everybody from DC, they're lining, something was missing, the legacy and the history.
They really realized it, and they sound really excited about this, so hopefully that means we have something to be excited about.
If we get a JSA movie, oh my god, that would be fucking amazing.
How much I don't want to spoil anything. Is anybody currently reading the Superman title to know in the New 52 that's getting ready to end what is happening to Superman and what is going to transpire into Rebirth? Do you guys know here or anything?
I honestly have not read a thing.
Do you want to know, or do you know?
Do you want to know?
This is so weird with it.
I mean, sure.
Well, because of Superman's solar flare and all the problems he's had with his power set, he is dying. So.
So it's almost like All-Star Superman.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah. So it's
kryptonite poisoning and stuff as well.
Yeah, all that type of stuff. So I'm guessing, like they said, a prominent character is going to die, which is going to spark on to Rebirth. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Superman, and what he's going to be replaced with is old continuity Superman. Yeah. So that's how we're getting Lois Lane as possible Superwoman and being able to have a kid. They're bringing kind of that in. So I think that's where they're bringing the history and they're filling these gaps in the New 52.
So wait, they're killing off New 52 Superman?
New 52 Superman is dying and will be replaced with old continuity.
Pre-Flashpoint Superman.
Pre-Flashpoint Superman.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too. And I love
Yeah.
his
Kill
new
that-
look.
you
I
can
know
kill
that.
that
I know Olivia,
turtleneck
you don't
wearing
like his blue
turkey.
boots.
Sorry.
Anthony. Yes, dude. Say that again.
No, sorry, I was just saying I really like his look as well. I know that Olivia doesn't like his blue
I'm
boots, but
sorry.
I think
He looks like he's wearing PJs. Look at him in his jammies.
so the new 52 one was kind of like that as well, except
Bananas in pajamas.
No.
but no, I like the obviously very Man of Steel looking. He's got the Henry Cavill cuffs. He's got the low cut neckline,
Yeah.
the split belt.
It's cool.
Yeah, I do think, and I love the look of Superboy or Super
Yeah,
Son.
he's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him, but I'm interested to read it because I did like, I mean, I like the young characters. I mean, I'm an adult now, but I still really like the young characters. I don't know what it is.
And I think that's going to be cool to pair Damien with,
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think that'll be a cool pair.
Like, I get that. I mean, if John Kent's anything like his dad, then he's like a Boy Scout, and then you got Damien, who's like in a smart mouth all the time.
What do you guys think about Lex Luthor being like the Superman of Metropolis in like a suit of armor? You think that'll last long, or?
I don't know. I don't know if it will
I
or
don't know
not.
if it'll last.
I think it'll be a nice plot device to move some Superman stories along and to kind of set up. I don't know what Anthony was doing, but it's hilarious. Lost my train of thought.
I do think it'll make a cool figure.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
Where are we going, Anthony?
Yeah.
Say hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
She's like, get the camera off.
She's like, no.
Not having it.
Hi, Oreo.
Talking about Rebirth, I'm excited to see. Which Olivia, thank you. I can say this to you in person. Everyone Loves the Drake is doing a little Rebirth thing. So if anybody has seen Everyone Loves the Drake podcast, little images that I put up, Automatica herself has done the artwork for that. So thank you, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I think it's cool to see Tim going back into a Robin costume, even though we still read Robin. Seeing Spoiler, Cassandra. Batwoman, Clayface is kind of is he part of the Bat
team?
He
is part of the team. It was confirmed.
Cool.
We don't know how or why, but I think James Tynion said it's like going to be explained early on. I hope.
I think that's going to be cool. Plus all the Superman titles that are coming out. The Green Lanterns look really cool. Aquaman.
I'm excited about Supergirl. I forgot about that. I'm super. Yeah. Her costume is perfect because it's like just like the show, but. Yeah. And Steve Orlando, he's from Midnighter. Now he's doing this completely different with Supergirl. It's going to be pretty cool, I think.
Isn't it just a very slight detour for comics? Isn't it weird that we've got a load of new 52 figures still to come out, like Super Doom and like the Icons 7-pack is all new 52?
I think is going to be the last Icons I get. Is that I have to get that 7-pack.
Well, the thing is, you know that they're going to release all the new characters and like that new Superman with the blue boots and stuff.
They gotta do that. They're gonna have to start doing Rebirth icons or whatever.
When is that Icon Superman coming out? Wasn't it supposed to come out like a month ago?
The original one with the little
Wave 3, with Kellex.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't had any new figures in a while. We've had like a dry period with
Earth 23 Superman, but that was Mattel.
Yeah, that was Mattel. DC Collectibles has kind of like taken a break here.
The newest thing that has been out has been the Arkham figures in Man-Bat, Professor Pig.
Yeah.
Those were a while ago, though. Those are months ago.
Right. Yeah, there's been
months ago. Like the animated series hasn't come up with anything. The icons are dry. Like what?
The latest thing they've released is the Batman v Superman statues.
They're doing statues. Something with the figures. I don't know. I feel like I vaguely remember reading something about they were having quality control issues again that they were addressing, but I thought that was like a specific line or something. So I don't know why all of them kind of came to a halt. Weird.
It's weird. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I mean, I don't think I've got any Icons figures.
You will.
You gotta get that Superman, dude. You have to.
Oh yeah, that's Superman with the two heads. But yeah, I mean, in the lineup there wasn't a lot of figures I was going to be able to get. Obviously Lex and Superman certainly, but going ahead, I can't wait for Super Doom looks great. We've still got, of course, bear in mind, we've still got the, what do you call them? What's the new range of figures called again?
What's the designer series Superman coming out? What's the name?
Oh,
of it?
Lieber Mayhew.
I can't wait.
Yeah, the Lex Luthor with the suit looks amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What were you saying? The new
Yeah,
line?
what's the other figure line that's, you know, the one that General Zod and Superman from Man of Steel? Or
the movie.
The
movie.
The movie ones.
The movie ones.
Yeah, the one where
the movie ones.
The one where Superman's kind of got 4 shoulders. You know, the one where that figure. You know.
Yeah.
When you compare that figure to the Mafex, there's no comparison. The Mafex
I can't
looks
wait
amazing.
to get my Mafex Batfleck.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I'm getting,
so much
I'm
better.
getting Superman and Batman.
I want Wonder Woman now too. I knew I would, but after seeing the movie, now I really want Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you almost have to get the Trinity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can we, very briefly, I know we've kind of skipped all over, how cool was that Wonder Woman theme? That's the theme I listened to.
Oh, it's the best.
Love it!
That is a guitar
So good.
and a violin, by the way.
Oh, really?
It was?
It's a guitar and a violin.
Wow,
That's what that
that's so
is.
cool.
And I like that. I like that it has that. It almost has like that Linda Carter '70s vibe to it. It has that real, you know. It's just that was the coolest part of the soundtrack.
Good.
That's the
So
only thing
good.
the movie had missing was you sure saw Gal Gadot spinning round 3 times and the suit appeared.
I just hope in this Wonder Woman movie that she's fighting Ares, please, for the love of God.
That was something. Since you brought that up, that was something I liked in the movie when Lex is pontificating about Hercules and all that stuff. She kind of does an eye roll of like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You just mentioned my dad. You know, I thought that was kind of cool.
There's also been a dry spell with Star Wars. There's been no waves released or anything since February.
I have not. Go ahead.
Sorry. The most recent wave with the Rebels figures has been impossible to find.
It was supposed to be released last month. It got pushed back on and I checked every single site.
And then
Everyone keeps pushing it back. It's supposed to be released at the end of this month, and now they're starting to pop up at stores.
Yeah, apparently I've only seen people say Target, and we've hit like every Target in our area like every week and nothing. I was able to catch 2 of them on Amazon by like furiously like refreshing whenever I'm on a computer and like having email alerts for stock. It's like crazy what you have to do to just get these figures.
I feel like this is gonna be one of those bullshit waves that like you have to get doubles because if you don't, you're never going to find them anymore. Like, you're not going to find Luke, because Luke is notoriously always hard to find, unless it's the Stormtrooper Luke. Luke is always, you know, I mean, what was it? I think Luke's cheapest figure is around $30 now. Like, that's...
Yeah. Something that didn't make any sense with me, you know, the movie just came out, and Ellen, again, said, why didn't they release the movie on May the 4th? As a marketing thing, why not?
Disney.
Yeah, but anyway,
Disney had to get it out.
Their December releases.
No. I mean,
the Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray. Why not wait till the 4th of May to release it? Then you can have May the 4th advertising everywhere.
Yeah, they could have done like a huge event they could have done that like thing they did with the toys again, the Force Night or what was it?
Yeah, that thing where everyone went to Toys R Us
and it sucked. It sucked. They could have done a better one.
Yeah, and then give us exclusives.
Yeah.
More exclusives. I want to stab my eyeballs out.
Thankfully, I've managed to get someone to help me in a Team Superman chat, but like even that Heat Vision Superman from Mattel, it was so hard to get. I know that you saw it, Rob, but I mean, like, so many people.
Rob, that damn kid.
Yeah, if you've watched my review, you know what happened to that Superman. I never wanted to punch a 7-year-old in the mouth before, and his mother actually. But
that poor child.
Yeah.
I just hate when companies make exclusives that are impossible.
Oh, Anthony has another.
So what ended up happening? I picked up this Batman, the unmasked Batman. Love it or hate it, it's not the best one in the world. But I went to
uploaded that yesterday. I gotta check that out.
Yeah. So for people that haven't seen it yet, I go to Toys R Us and I see like 7 of the Batmans. So I see one Superman, I take it, I set it down in front of me, like on the shelf, and I'm looking at like 5 different Batmans, which one has the best eye, blah, blah, blah. A mother and her son come up beside me.
Rob messaged first. Rob messaged
Yeah.
and said, Stuart, do you want the Superman? It's the heat vision one that's really rare. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't want to like pick it up in case, Stu had already had it, so I kind of set it off to the side, and I'm saying, hey, do you want this, blah, blah, blah. So mother and her kid come over, and she's like, oh, look, here's Nightmare Batman. She's looking at the $9.99 figures. And I'm like, you're not going to buy your kid this $19 Superman figure, so whatever. So I'm being nice. I slide out of the way, still leaving the Superman figure right here. So as I'm texting Stu, I hear her go, Heat Vision Superman. Grabs it, kid takes it, and runs. I'm like, what the hell? Gone. So I felt bad going, well, excuse me, ma'am, that was mine, and now having to take a toy from a child. So I
would have been like, give me that shit!
Yeah. So I had said I never wanted to punch a 7-year-old and his mother in the mouth before, but I mean, I'm thinking if I wanted it that bad or was going to buy it, I should have had it underneath my arm, but I had like 5 other Batmans. I'm like, no, I don't like that one. I don't like that one, and so.
Oh, it was such a fun
It was really funny. It was really funny.
Yeah.
Because Rob, you were so guilty. I wasn't.
Yeah, Stu was like, it's fine, and Rob's just like, oh, I feel so bad.
Rob was
like,
stalking him all the way to the tills.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
waiting and waiting to make sure he doesn't put it down.
I'm at their car window like.
Steaming it up like a
The
raptor.
fucking Jurassic Park.
Oh my god.
Fucking T-Rex.
Brilliant.
So, but I think that's about it from what we've can talk about. We can go on and on about the movies and everything like that. I think we all universally really liked it. I know Jason really liked it. He recently saw it with his father. Did he say whether his dad liked it or not?
Yeah, he said it
yeah.
was different when he came out.
It was
but then
different,
he said
yeah.
he
He liked it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Todd. He got up to pee during the podcast.
So he missed nothing.
So we missed nothing. Oh. So good.
Olivia, I
Yeah.
think I saw Todd's brother did. I thought that was kind of funny that he was kind of hoping Doomsday was going to be there. What was his reaction to Doomsday, and did he like it?
Yeah, we watched Man of Steel the night before because he hadn't seen it, and we're watching it, and we're getting there. We finished the movie, and his brother's going like, yeah, oh man, wouldn't it be really cool if they made a movie where he fights Doomsday? And me and Todd just looked at each other like, he doesn't know? Like, and we were like, yeah, it'd be great. And Todd's like, oh yeah, they'll do it eventually, whatever, probably much later. And his brother's like, yeah, So we go see the movie the next day, and we're sitting there, we're like ready to go and watch the movie. And as soon as Lex says like, meet your Doomsday, or whatever he says, we just look over at him, and he's like, we were like, and he loved it. Yeah, he loved the movie, so it was
That's
great.
Cool. Let's do a quick rundown for everybody here, which I'm sure everybody knows all of us, but where can everybody find you for your reviews and everything, and maybe something that you have, your next review that you have coming up? ODC, where can people find you, and what do you have coming up next on your channel?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter under Nickel City Kid. And I have yes. And I'm doing a lot of wrestling stuff right now, but that's kind of the only thing that I have that's coming out. Like I said, it's been a dry spell. Nothing has been released lately. So I'm sticking to my wrestling stuff right now, so I have something to talk about. And you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I think that's it. Oh, by the way, Batman.
What's your address?
I gave it an 8 out of 10. Good movie. Fuck the critics. Go watch it for yourself. If you still didn't like it, then you probably didn't get it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, with that.
Again.
Yeah, with that, give your ratings as you're plugging your channel. So, what do you have coming up, Olivia? And what'd you think of the movie, rating wise?
Movie, I give
out of 10.
I guess 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Solid 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Glad we cleared that up. As far as like what I have coming up, that's a good question because I obviously have not been actively making videos for a while. I'm sorry. I apologize. But whenever I do, I still have like a really big backlog of stuff to review. Like I have like Arkham figures and animated series figures. I got the most recent like Legend Spidey wave. I have the Giant Man wave ordered. I don't know. I've been working on even like little custom stuff here and there that eventually will make its way. But my biggest issue is my filming area is a disaster right now. So whenever that gets cleaned up and I'll proceed. But yes, YouTube, Automatica, and Facebook I also have, which I do post on occasionally when there's stuff like Rebirth and things are exciting. Post. Yes.
Cool. Excellent. Stu, plug something. What do you got coming up on channel?
Yeah,
I know you've been really busy for a while.
Oh yeah, I've been so busy. Well, my next review's coming in December. It's going to be. No, I'm just kidding. You can basically find me on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. It's basically just at StuMurray47 for each one. So I'm really trying to get reviews done. It's just I've been really busy with work, and my office has been a nightmare. But I've just cleaned it up, which you can't tell. But I've cleaned my office up, so I'm going to get my review station set up again. I'm going to start churning out some reviews. So I've got so many Batman v Superman things that people have helped me get. The 31-inch, the 19-inch, a lot of the sort of caricature things, the Hot Toy Mini Cos Baby things are really cool. So yeah, lots of reviews, hopefully coming soon.
Oh,
in December.
baby.
Who's it going with Batman?
I'm definitely hoping to do a mod of my Man of Steel figure. I've seen a lot of people obviously doing the shoe polish thing, but I think I'm going to take the head off and the hands off, and I'm going to just make it like the Man of Steel suit. I think it looks really cool.
I'm looking forward to you, and Rob, I know you're going to customize yours too, you said, right? So I'm looking forward to both of yours. That's going to be cool.
Get that shoe polish.
Shoe polish.
Reviews coming soon.
Cool.
I promise.
One last thing I forgot. I wanted to let people know. If you are a wrestling fan, this week I am doing something very special because WrestleMania 32 was such a hot bag of garbage. I don't know what I just said. A hot flaming dumpster fire. Okay, I am going to rebook WrestleMania 32 in my eyes, the way I would book it and the way I would fix it from Royal Rumble, which was in January. Can't talk. In January,
deep breath.
From January to April, I'll be rebooking the WWE and how I would have set up WrestleMania and booked the entire pay-per-view of WrestleMania. So stay tuned for that. That is coming up this week.
Nice. I can't wait to see that.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
You're right.
It's going to be like a 3-hour fucking video, by the way.
Yeah, dumpster fire. I had a friend that at work that was talking about it. He just was like off the rails about it. So, like for me, since we're watching here, Rob's Rogues, you can find me on Twitter at DrummerRob10, and then Everyone Loves the Drake podcast, and then Instagram under Rob's Rogues. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the custom as well. Pretty much like we saw Chris Cosplay do his.
Sorry.
Bless you. The only thing I'm concerned about that custom is doing the facial hair. I'm kind of nervous. I may just kind of skip that, but I'm going to do the cape, the spray painting, everything. So, and I want to say I've shot all my Star Wars reviews. I was kind of waiting to the Blu-ray, but personally say, Anthony, thank you very much for my birthday gift of the Stormtrooper, or the Flame Trooper. Now I have a proper one instead of my 20-inch. So, that's going to be the first one. I was doing so much BvS stuff, all of my Star Wars Black Series figures that I've shot, I think 9 of them, I just haven't uploaded yet, so that's going to be one of the next things. Now that BvS is over, I'm going to go back and play catch-up on all my Black Series stuff. So, I wish Jason could have been here today. I think he's probably doing some family stuff today. I know Sundays is kind of hard for him. So go check out Chapman Films. Good night, sleep ahead. You want a good music podcast and a really good laugh with he and his cousin. It's hilarious what they do. I kind of listening to their Elseworld podcast. With their little blue light specials. So
Rob,
that was really
you
good.
don't like Elseworlds.
I know. I'm becoming a fan.
You know we're never going to let that go, right?
No, not at all. I do want to plug something. I'm kind of saying this to everybody. There is an event coming up in the month of May, and it's not Civil War. a good chunk of the rogues are all going to be together at one place at one time. So I know I'm bringing my camera, and a Robin action figure is probably coming with me. I'll probably pick one. But it'll be kind of cool to get all of us together that can make the trip. So in case you can't figure out, somebody's coming across the pond to the United States.
Yay!
Hey, there he is.
Yay.
So it's going to be cool to see. So I imagine if you're following our Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff and YouTube, you'll probably see videos and pictures of all of us together. So that'll be pretty cool. So I just wanted to say,
we should make. Okay, this is gonna sound really. I'm sorry. I'm a millennial. Sorry. We should make like a hashtag, like Rogues in Philly or some hashtag or whatever, and
Yeah.
like people can follow it if they want. Yeah.
that'd be cool. We will. Yeah, we'll discuss what we're going to call it.
Yeah, whatever.
That'd be kind of cool. We'll put that out there, and so that way you can kind of follow us wherever we're at. I'm somebody. I'm taking pictures of stuff all the time when we go on a trip.
Exactly.
I'm the picture.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. Anthony, are you making this round?
I'm gonna attempt to. I gotta see what's going on with work. And
Okay.
Stuff like this is the busy season. We're doing big trash now, so.
Tell them screw it. You have people to see, places to go. Come on.
Tell them hashtag Stewcation. That's
Exactly.
Stewmania!
Stewmania.
Stewmania. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's Stewmania, brother! I gotta be there!
We sell the whole seat, but you only need the end. So. With that, we're going to end the show here. Thanks for everybody that was watching the show. I think we've had at one point, we had 26 people.
Wow. Seriously?
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Want more!
Guys, we're famous now.
What do we have now? What do we have now?
3.
They gave up.
Yeah, very good. So thanks to everybody that was watching, and we'll get
Are we
everybody
the
back.
three?
Now it's down to 0.
Oh,
Yeah.
bye. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see everybody in the next show. Take care, everybody. Have a good evening.
Adios, muchachos!